Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to SKTV. Welcome to SKTV Live. Considering we're on both pages now, both SKTV and SKTV Live. Either ways, you would find us on one of them, either or the other. But we want to say welcome to you. Today is Saturday, the first Saturday, I believe, in the month of September. Is September the 3rd, 2022. I want to welcome each and every one of you. Welcome and welcome to the show. Those of you who will be following us from Liberia very soon here because we're waiting Johnson, Milburn, and the rest of the team from Liberia to join us here. And Mr. Sipu Kane would be joining us as well in the next few minutes here. We want to say welcome to you, welcome and welcome. Uh, Welcome to the show. Welcome to today's edition. It's good to be back on SKTV as always. Feels at home. Feels good to be back home. We have a lot of trending issues to discuss, a lot of national issues to discuss today. I don't know if I'll be Seku's guest or Seku will be my guest. I don't know, but we got a lot of things to talk about today. A lot of national issues, uh, trending issues. We will be talking about a lot of things, but we want to welcome each and every one of you. Share the show as you are coming on. Invite others. We will be talking about these things. Happy holidays to those of you in the weekend in the United States of America. It's the Labor Day weekend. Be safe out there. Stay out of trouble as much as you can. Do what you need to do to keep yourself safe. Again, welcome and welcome. Those of you who have not liked the new page, we encourage you to please like the new page. We're getting signal from Liberia. Johnson Milburn will be joining us momentarily here. We will be back tomorrow as well. We'll be back on Monday. The good thing is you'll get to see me on Monday. Yeah, I will not be at the office on Monday. I'll be working from. I'll be home chilling. Yay. So yes, but let's welcome each and every one of you to the show. As always, we want to thank you, and thank you. We are live on SKTV Live as well, and we are on YouTube. So we seem to be going all over the place and moving all over the place. But welcome to the show. Share the show. Let me see if I can get Johnson Milburn here really quick. Before we get into our introduction, get into other news here, play the music, and get into the conversation. Let's get Johnson Milburn on here really quick. Johnson, how are you? Johnson, how are you? My man Johnson, we can see you. We can see you in studio over there. So you don't put yourself in a situation you can't handle. We can see you in studio over there. Well, Johnson is not fully. My man, we can see you in studio over there. Oh, Johnson man, I see the man eating a green cabo. I hope that you know the part they had you eating. My man, they had there. We gotta investigate it hard. We have to investigate it hard. My man, I see you eating your green hat. What's going on? That United Party had you eating all that Liberty Party had. We had all a green hat. Oh. Oh my goodness. While Johnson is setting up, ladies and gentlemen, as always, we want to welcome each and every one of you. As we always say, or we will always say, um, the Liberian people are the most important people on earth. That's what we believe. But more importantly, we believe that the Liberian women are the most beautiful women on earth. That is not something that you can argue. You can argue; it's inarguable. So that being said, we want to welcome those of you following us from Liberia on True FM 96.1. I didn't miss it. I hope I don't get in trouble today uh, with Milburn here. Milburn, we can't hear you. Mama, you gotta turn that thing up. We can't hear you. You scared to greet us? No, we can't hear you. Very low. You're very, very low. I can see your lips moving, but we can't hear you. Today we are going to, like I said, we're going to have lots of conversations. While Melbourne is getting set here, invite someone. While Melbourne is getting set up here. Conversation today will not be easy. We're having some serious conversation here today. Melbourne, while you are getting set up, my man, I don't know. My saying said, bro. I understand. Thank you for getting me cool. I'll be it. I will not put my saying situation I can handle, bro. No, but we can hear you very low. It's very, very low, please. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if you need to log off and log back in. You want to try that? Yeah, I think that would be much better. Let's try that. We will be getting into other news here very soon. While we are waiting for Melbourne, before we get into the guys, share the show. Help us to share the show. My man, DK is what's up, bro? I'm a long time. What's going on? How are you? But yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's share the show. Like I said today, it promises to be very interesting. A lot of things we will talk about today. We'll provide you with facts about some of these myths because we have been able to dig and do the necessary research. Again, the goal is not to tell you who to support or who not to support. You are all grown and you have rights constitutionally and legally, however you want to term it, to make a decision as to who you would vote for or who you would support. However, I think it's important for us to provide you with the facts. It's critically important, regardless of whose side you choose to go on. At least have the facts so that you can make an informed decision. So that's what we'll be doing for the Liberian people today. We'll talk about the Cummins letter, the Cummins' response, and we'll talk about George Weah's letter as well. I know we've already talked about it, but we'll just try to link both of them to provide you with some of the facts and some of the issues that are unfolding and what this could possibly lead to and where this is headed. Because people are taking this for joke, but we won't talk about it. But in other news, let's get to other news really quick. Something very interesting. I'm not sure if they're going to the same way how you remember in other news. First of all, our ball, the convicted, suspended minister, the convicted, suspended minister Nathaniel Michael had an interview with Al Jazeera. Unfortunately, that would not be our focus for today. We will focus on that. We'll dissect that interview either tomorrow or by Monday. We'll talk about that interview in details because it's important for you to listen to that interview. After we've listened to it, we want to also gather some facts around it before we can speak about it, because it's important for us to also tell you where McGill's mind is and what he did in that interview. There's a lot he did in that interview. 15 minutes, he did a lot. And we'll talk about some of the things he did. But another thing that's also trending today, it was announced a few weeks ago by Senator Yomble Kangalurns that she was going to be holding, or I think 20 million Liberian dollars rally or so forth in Grand Bassa County. Today is the third. I think that rally was held. However, there are a lot of reportings coming from in the rally. For example, Mo Ali and other members from the United Party. We saw a T-shirt that says JNB and Yomble 2023. Is this a signal into JNB's peak? Has JNB picked Yomble Kangalurns as his running mate? If so, then the question becomes, we'll also talk about that either tomorrow. We'll dive into it. We want to get the facts concerning that as well. Concerning we've seen on social media, we've spoken to one or two parties, one or two people close to the party, not the people in play. But as of yet, none of them have distanced themselves from that T-shirt. So we can assume that there are some facts to it, but we'll get to it. But the T-shirt, it's all over Facebook. And I don't think it's, in my view, I don't think it's coincidental. I don't think so. I don't think it's mutually exclusive from what's going on. Oh man, what is going on? Let me silent Melbourne. Okay, Melbourne, you there? I try to mute you here because the music, the gospel music, play. My man, I hear that music a long time.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing, stop the rape in Liberia, stop the rape in Africa and the rest of the world. So, yes, I don't know whether you're getting me now loud and clear.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear, my man. I thought you were afraid that you won't put yourself in situation because you have on a green hat. My man, before we go any further, Melbourne, that green hat that you got here, what's going on with the green hat? Is it a Unity Party or Liberty Party hat? Let's investigate you really quick.
I like that, but on a very serious note, this is my organization hat, and unfortunately today, I don't know the people from the other side. They were there in somewhere around in Buchanan, but unfortunately me, this is my Melbourne. I think you can see on the right, Melbourne cycle. So cap and so on. So it had nothing to do with any political party.
My man, that thing was suspicious and fishy, my man. We need to investigate further, my man. We need a long time investigation.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
We have to put you in situation you can't handle, my man.
No, I'm going to handle it, and because the problem is because I will not go Buchanan. I will not go Buchanan because no need. So don't waste your time. And I will stay right here in Monrovia. Yeah, and do the work of the people, and so on.
Right. Okay. Well, my man, I was just trying to pull your leg. I hope when I hit the turn, I seen green hat. Me, I want some of that green hat there. You know the green hat there. You understand?
Yeah.
Me, I like green hat.
Don't mind that thing. I wonder why even what. Yeah, I even wonder why my organization choose to even use green, because sometimes the green are just so frustrating.
Well, yeah. When I saw you, I said, "But my man, I live at the party or I live at the party, man. What is going on?"
No, man, the green is just so frustrating. But how be it, because
no, I have to be careful because Sekou, you never know if Sekou will wear green hat today on the show too. You know what I'm saying? So exactly. So let's be careful. Or tell people wear green hat too. You understand? People can be solidarity in different ways.
Thank you. Because today we really observe a lot of things happening. So sometimes too, maybe people want to be in solidarity with people, or maybe the way things are happening. So maybe
we in political season too, so the town looking too tense.
And that's the thing, because let me just say this for free, that I think the place already open. People already started doing their own political donation, humanitarian basis, and so on. They're coming back and say maybe the time frame for campaign is short. I think we already start campaigning already.
And many you now looking at you either campaigning for Liberty Party because
all right. Even if I'm campaigning for any of them, right? Maybe as you may say, because anytime when you have that clothes on, maybe sometimes the color of your clothes, they have their own way or maybe identify you. All right, no problem. Yeah, so I would say yes for free that the green here is also stand here in Liberia, because Liberia is the country that up to now, apart from Monrovia or maybe the capital city, the rest of the other countries have slow forest. So yes, so the green forest.
So green can look more like our national identity, right?
Exactly, because we still have the virgin land, we still have the forest here in Liberia and so on. So I don't know why maybe when people think that maybe even sometimes still want to see up maybe importing rice sometimes make me cry, because to be having you see the cap, you see the cap, right?
Let me toss Melbourne. I beg you.
Yeah.
That green hat that you need to keep one for me when I hear the town, so I leave, man. I don't want green hat.
And I hope and pray that you will be here before the biometric process and everything over. I don't know, or maybe they will do your own aside. I don't know how. In fact, how they're going to do your own.
No, I don't think from where it stands now, the government has the infrastructure or the money in place. To be quite honest, whether we like it or not. If they do, that will be a huge help, and it will be miraculous. But in all honesty, from where we stand at this moment, I would say it will be practically impossible from a logistical standpoint, financial standpoint, because these things, even though you can put it in law, but it take time to be implemented. It take time, they require time and resources. You know what I mean? And so they have a lot of coordination as well with the United States, the local embassies here. I'm hearing, I don't know how true this is, and I stand to be corrected. that even the embassies right now, as we speak, especially the one accredited to Washington D.C., you know, the man didn't get a court. I think they're 1 month beyond whatever it is. So small yo in the town. But that one we're not focusing on now. We get other issues that we're focusing on. Once we corroborate that information, the people already know we'll bring that information. We'll discuss it because
exactly. Because you know where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah. See that. But let's get to the musical break. Before we get to the musical break, and I know Mr. Kane will be joining us very soon. But let's get to the musical break. But before we get to the musical break, like I was saying, from what Nathaniel McGill interview today, which we'll play at some point when we're discussing it. Today we're going to focus on Mr. Cummins' response, because that letter, remember we talked about it on Thursday. Mr. Cummins, the letter that George Weah wrote back, the response. And speaking about President George Weah, how is the President George Weah, the common Buka Denso, what's going on with him? That a new title now. Me, somebody say I'm not calling common Buka Denso, calling the president because but then when the president dancing Buka, you can be happy. You understand? They say I'm not calling common Buka Denso, but when they see people that when the president dancing Buka, they can be happy to be cheering. So if the men are football player, the men playing football, you call him footballer, they should get that. I will call him common Buka Denso. I'm not changing it. I'm not going to change that one. I want everybody to know that. How is the common Buka Denso doing and what's going on with Buka Denso? Is he ready to dance Buka again or what's going on?
Yes, Steve, let me say thanks for the platform, and in fact, thanks to all of you that follow us via our social media, which of course is Facebook.
Melbourne is having some connection problem there.
I don't know. I'm still facing some small technical problem, but how be
while you're addressing that, I want us to get to the musical break really quick because of time. Let's get to the musical break really quick. And today we're going back to the president. Who want to become president? We'll just play for a few minutes, maybe 2-3 minutes for us to share the show, and then we'll get back. So, Melbourne, I haven't sent you this music yet. I'm very sorry. I know you asked me to send it, but hopefully today I'll send it to you after the show. We will not copyright the song. It's played for entertainment purposes as we get onto it. And once we get back, we'll get into the conversation. We want to dissect the letter Mr. Cummins wrote and where we stand and what is the implication. Oh, I thought they were coming with a green hat.
Don't be see.
No way. This is not fair. Mr. Cummins, we can hear you. This is not fair.
Yes. In fact, okay.
But so now you know the party hat?
No, I don't know what I'm happy to
maybe that Liberty Party hat. If you can't be the party, at least Liberty Party is okay. But you gotta do one of them. One of the green family.
No, and if I may just debunk that, I will never be a partisan of any political party. That's one. Two. Yes.
But anyway, Steve, I got a news for you guys. We are on both SKTV and SKTV Live.
Oh, okay, that's great.
Yeah, we are on both of them. So people who following us, we want to welcome you to SKTV and SKTV Live. We want to encourage you to click, like, and follow SKTV Live because SKTV is the original platform. But we're trying to transition. But as we do that, we want to make sure that we reach out to everybody. So if you can just go on SKTV Live, and we have most of our followers on just SKTV, then we will not be doing justice to you, and you will not be seeing what is going on. But if you are on SKTV or SKTV Live, I want to say thank you to all of you for following. As I can see here, we have people on both ends, SKTV and SKTV Live. But I want to say thank you to all of you for following. We want to encourage you to go ahead and share the show and be a part of this very, very important conversation. So, Steve, I think you are about to go to a musical break. I think you can do that, and then we can come back and start the conversation.
Yes, more definitely so. Let's get to the musical break really quick here, and then we'll get into the conversation right after here. Thank you. Share the show, guys, while we're gone.
gentlemen, I am Soledad Diabo. I'm glad with the great opportunity given me to introduce to you your president.
Babu want to become president. Mosquito want to become president. Poppy Dossa want to become president. Crazy man you see want to become president. Mr. Kede want to become president. Mr. Lala man want to become president. President you will see you. Mr. Roro want to become president. Diego. Now how the president business will be? We suffering for some more. Mr. Lala want to become president. President you see want to become president. Mr. John President. It can't be one angry. Let me tell you something. When they want to become president with Lala, they will come and say, as the president of the Republic of Liberia, I thank you people for introducing me as a president. The power invested in me as a president of the Republic of Liberia. I want to make sure I will bring the rest press down. Yeah. I'm going to pull all the fear press down. I'm going to bring the gasoline press down. Yeah. Kalolo want to become president. You know easy again. You want to tell me say president wait? Tell money eat up become president. Trust take up become president. It's not easy. Liberia will show you. When they give president to them, they will stand and say, I'm Mason. I will bring down Moldova and bear you new Moldova. I'm going to make sure I'm not going to steal the government money. I'm going to make sure 7-7 get their back pay. I'm the president going to make sure that the AFL going to be paid in 2 weeks. I'm going to make sure students going to get 12 buses. I'm going to make sure for the little children they say, I'm going to buy two plastic bags for them to poo-poo inside. Yeah. Babu, you see, want to become president. Mr. President want to become president. Mr. Drongo want to become president. Lala want to become president. Karen Ripper want to become president. You know, issue so free, Liberia. Listen to the speech. As a president of the Republic of Liberia, I'm going to make sure I'm going to electrify the city into 1 day time. As a president of the Republic, I'm going to drive the whole of the sea and pay you people estate daily. As things go by, Republic of West Wind going to be an estate. Mr. President, become president. Mr. Lala man want to become president. Mr. Roro want to become president. Mr. Dr. Job want to become president. Mr. Kenju man want to become president. Mr. Ripasa want to become president. Mosquito want to become president. The girl you see say want to become president. Everyone want to become president. And you want to now when you want to become president. Yeah. President, yo. We're suffering for president. Because you want to become a friend. Oh, the president, they know it. Sonega, please come, let we see them will become president.
Virginia, don't cry by here. The president said, "Been in a worry, my ear." Me, I got one question to how will be president? But wait now, how can you become president? Nobody know you. How you become president? How will you become president? Hey, people man now want to become president. What they say about Jacob?
Well, Shuffle Jacob then all one become president. I'm busy with President John Kennedy as we are headed to 2023. We got Buga Denzel then all one become president. Not easy, brother.
Yeah, sometimes too.
In the race, it will not be
everybody can be trying to log. Everybody can be trying to log. So
yeah,
even you too, we're going to put you into the race.
My man.
Even Oka Sela they want to become president.
Yeah.
Me too, I can say Oka want to become president.
Yeah, but
boys can put a used car, but we probably can jump against.
But Oka set up.
Oka Sela, me someone become president.
That it kind of
but before we get in the conversation, we changing the song narrative now to Buga Denzel then won't become president. Oh, yeah. So we're remix.
Hold on. I warned you yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
People inboxed me yesterday. The first inbox that came to me, Seku. I said, yes. I am stupid. Eh? I said, who? How can a man calling the president of the country a common Buga Denzel? I said, who? He said, Steve. He said, Monteiro man to stop it. I said, okay, I will warn him, but Steve, you don't listen.
But let me talk so the president get them Buga.
And I'll not blame Steve for saying that because I think because Steve is also capping.
Let me make a quick announcement. Those of you listening to us on the radio, we have SKTV and SKTV Live. We are on both of them. So for we that are on the main base here, we are saying that we are saying. Let me see here. I'm not looking at
yes, I think
so we are saying that people are divided on both ends, but we can promise you, whatever you say, whatever you write, we will see it on either one of them. Whatever you write.
So therefore, I'm going to take a small vacation and I come back now we confused. What is going on? I confused.
Yo,
I'm watching both sides now. What's going on?
Yeah, we're not playing.
Myself, I even send a lot of invites. You gotta
send a lot of invites. Let me tell you what's going on right now. See, on the original SKTV, you have like 562, and then on the new one, that one have 454. So you are on the main screen here, you can see everything. That's why you see up there 1,000 plus. But people who watch it on different channels, they're not seeing both.
Wow.
So, but we are making transition. We're not leaving either one of them for the other as of yet. I'm on the show.
Oh,
yeah. So
wait, Mr. Okana, before we go into the conversation, let me ask you the question. So we on two,
and then all the numbers you see on the screen now include YouTube too.
So we on two TVs at once.
You on two TV at once, and you on YouTube, and then you on Truth FM.
So why everywhere you got one TV and you got one phone?
Everything other person hearing on the other TV, that what you be hearing too. There's no difference. The only thing is some people can get notification from the original SKTV. Some people not getting notification.
Wait a minute. The new thing I need to spend time with. Wait a minute here.
You see here, I think you both
okay.
I mean, it's what campaign.
The other one.
I think we're getting to this. I gotta buy another phone for that. That's not fair to me. What do you mean?
Wait now.
Yeah, man.
Who played that? Who played that campaign song?
You see, Melbourne let noise. That Melbourne. Because when we start playing the real Common Buga song, Common Buga dancer song right now, it will bring noise in the town. So we just leave Melbourne with that other thing when you on.
Oh, sure.
I'm moving.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to remove the old one.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting to the conversation here today. Mr. Kane, one of the trending issues, Mr. Cummings did respond. And the biggest question that seditions and some people who support the opposite of President George Weah have been asking is, where were you? So today, one of our goals is to be able to establish the facts based on some of the claims that President George Weah came to Liberia and there's a picture they're passing around with. And we want to clarify it. There's also a video of Denzel Washington that they're passing around with on Facebook and other places to tell the Liberian people that President George Weah was doing humanitarian work for Liberians when they initially claimed that he was doing it in the different camps and other places. This is where we are today. And we'll talk about the rebuttal of Mr. Cummings, the letter that he wrote. But on the other end also, there are some people who are considered to be independent, which I don't think they're independent, most of them. Some of them who do not want to support a certain person, who uncoverly maybe support other people. When a certain person says something, they say, well, it's important. Let's not dignify, let's not say this. Because maybe the people who they support, they're not in the spotlight, they're not on the spotlight, whatever at the time. So they're saying, well, there is no need for you to have this conversation. But in all honesty, I think this letter conversation is good that it is happening. And I will turn it back over to you so that we can get into this conversation, into the letter, and get into some of the research that we have done about President George Weah and some of the pictures we're seeing on Facebook. Thank you, Mr. Khan. It's up to you.
Thank you very, very much. First, oh man, Mr. Kula, you need to control that means was a campaign song over there.
Yes, sorry,
it keeps jumping, you know.
Okay.
But again, we want to say thank you to all of you for following us. If you are watching us on SKTV or SKTV Live, we want to say welcome you. And then we want to also thank you all that are listening to us on the radio, talking about Truth FM 96.1. So if your data is not enough and you want to switch to the radio station, just tune into Truth FM 96.1. If you're in a car, in a keke, just tune into that. You will listen to this very, very important conversation. You know, today we have a lot to discuss, but we want to just focus on the response from Mr. Cummings to the president. It's like response to the response. So, a response to the response. So it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like tit for tat. Something I think Melbourne we're still struggling with the music in the background. Okay. All right, you know what? Melbourne, go ahead and mute yourself for now, so we can't be having this problem. All right, I think he's still struggling with the system down there. But again, what is going on here is that this back and forth between President Weah and Mr. Alexander Cummings, it seems like is the beginning of the actual campaign, of the showdown, getting into the 2023 presidential general election. However,
Easy, give me water.
Mike is saying you should send me the link. I don't know. Yeah, I think he wants to join the conversation. So the interesting part of it is the trend of the conversation. If the conversation is centered or focused on real issues, if the conversation is based on discussing substantive issue, it's different. But if the conversation is about deceit, lies, fabrications, then that's also another problem. Then we in the middle, as people, we have to make sure we do our own research, do our due diligence, making sure that who is telling the truth or who is lying. And that's when we bring in people like Steve and other people who are very good with research, and also people who can do critical thinking and critical analysis on issues that are very important to the people in the country of Liberia. So, Steve, given what we know for now, based on your own research and understanding of this whole back and forth, first of all, what does this say? Does this mean that now the competition is squarely between George Weah and Alex Cummings?
Mr. Kane, that's a good question. I think this is a good conversation. As a matter of fact, I'm happy that they did not do some of these audio recordings or, video, because people have the ability to dot some of these things or change some of the contents to their favor or in their favor. And so I think this is a good thing that they are writing, because it keeps them on record. These writings can be archived, they can be saved up, they can serve also as a reference point to say, Mr. Kane, you said this. But here's an interesting fact about this as well, Mr. Kane, and I'll come to whether this thing bogs down. It comes down to both of them being a race. I'll come to that part. But it also says that both men, both Mr. Cummings and President George Weah, have not distanced themselves from any of the publications so far. So that means we can say these letters come from them. Whether it was a third party that wrote it, whether it was somebody else that wrote it for them, it does not make a difference in this context. What it says now is Mr. Cummings is writing, George Weah is writing. There were accusations made. The letter initially started off with advice, recommendation, and so forth. President George Weah did not take kindly to that this letter was sent to him openly. But maybe he didn't understand the context or the goal of an open letter. However, he responded with making accusations and also trying to alienate Mr. Cummings by saying, you are not here. Where were you? And what was this? Now, we are about to disclose to the Liberian people the assertion that George Weah made, that he came to the Liberian people not only as a peacemaker, before we get into Mr. Cummings' respond, but he also came as a humanitarian and so forth. We have to put these things in context for the sake of our people, for the people to understand, because regardless of who you try to support or who you want to support, it's good to have the facts to be informed. So let's get to one or two of this discovery. There have been a couple of pictures on Facebook.
Before, Steve, just a second before you go there, we
Please.
have a guest here, in person of Mike Kalilu Jabate. Mike Jabate is a brother, well-known, well-recognized journalist in Liberia. He's also a constant contributor to SKTV, whether it's behind the scene, whether it's live, but Mike being around, and he's one of those people that we started this platform together. So, Mike, I want to welcome you to SKTV. And once again, how are you doing today before we go to Steve to continue the analysis?
Yeah, good evening, brother, and SK and Kenan, and good evening, brother Moses. I'm in Grand Cape County, to be specific, Lofa Bridge.
Oh, you're in Lofa Bridge right now?
Yes, as I speak to you.
All right. We are discussing the letter, the exchange between President Weah and that of Mr. Cummings. So Steve was giving some analysis. I don't know the level of data you have right now. So I don't know how long you're going to be on. So that's why I don't want to get to you. But Steve will continue with analysis. But what I want to ask you is that everything going on in Monrovia and on the internet and everywhere right now between President Weah and Alexander Cummings, what are you hearing from where you are right now, all the way in Lofa Bridge?
And for what I hearing, and if I was President Weah, and he should not responded to Alexander Cummings and letter, because in the letter today, if he travels in Lofa Bridge area and the Gokian, we travel to Smithtown, the Takwema region, we travel to Tenin, people are discussing the letters. So based on the letter, Alexander Cummings have gained some popularity in some area. So by the president responding to Alexander Cummings, he are giving that popularity to Alexander Cummings. People everywhere discussing Alexander Cummings letters and the president letters. So based on that, and Alexander Cummings, who is some part of Liberia, and there was no popularity, the president had promoted him to the extent that people are discussing day by day.
Wow. Steve, do you have any question for Mike?
No, I would like to add up to what Mark just said, even though I'm not in Liberia, but we predicted from the beginning that this letter was a trap. It was a two-way trap. And we'll talk about what we mean two-way trap. First of all, you can't say Steve is nothing or he's nobody, but yet you give credence or attention to what Steve writes to elevate Steve or Steve's status. What President George Weah did, evidently from a political standpoint, he shot himself in the leg. He should have downplayed his letter, as he's always ignored everything else and act like it didn't exist and move on. The fact that he's giving this letter attention is a problem for him. And we'll get into it deeper as we get into the response, because now the ball is in his court now. And we'll tell the Liberia people why the ball is in his court and why he's obligated as a sitting president to ensure that he responds to the allegations and some of the numerical facts that were provided in the response of Mr. Cummings. We'll provide context to that. But yes, he shouldn't have responded. It was a trap.
So, Brother Mike, you are in Liberia, and now we are not just on Facebook. We are on SKTV, and we are on SKTV Live. We are on YouTube, and we are on Truth FM 96.1. So we have thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people listening and watching. So my question to you, people listening to you right now in Liberia, tell me how the political climate look like in Liberia right now. We have less than a year to the election, or maybe a little over a year to the general election.
And I continue to say, and there is Africa, and a sitting president to defeat a sitting president, you need a good strategist. You need a strategist that you will move on the sitting president. But from now on, the opposition will have work to do, and the government will have work to do. And it's going to be a tough game. We don't know. It's going to be a tough game. Nobody can tell you, say, SYC is going to win the election, because these guys are tasted power. And the sanction that came recently against the government also bring the government morale down a little bit. You understand? But you cannot capitalize on that, because the literacy rate in this country is very, very high. Our people, 65% of the population are illiterate. And they may use that to come up with political strategies to convince our people. But it's going to be a tough battle. Even the government too is a tough battle for the government. It's a tough battle for Alexander Cummings, which is a backup. Like where I'm from now, in Gbapuru County, which you go and myself, Alexander Cummings is popular in Gbapuru County because his party chairman is from Gbapuru County. He is popular there. There are two political parties that is popular in Gbapuru County. One, the ANC, and that of the CDC. There are two political parties that are popular there. You understand? Then when you get to Grand Cape Mount County, you have the Unity Party there that is also popular. You understand? There is some part of Grand Cape County, Arizona Commune also need to work there. But based on the letter here too, make Arizona Commune to be popular in these various towns and villages. You understand? Because there's internet there. People are reading the letter, people are discussing the letter. They say, oh, President, we are in Arizona Commons. But Arizona Commune, it needs a strategist. He does not have the strategies to get to the people. Those that run Arizona Commune, they are not moving. They use the town on the social media. They are not getting to the people. You understand? Arizona Commune could be a good president in this country because you stay young, you have the energy. But you need to work over time. You need to get to the masses. Not on social media. Leave the social media because 80% of the information on social media are false information. People lie on social media. But Arizona Commune need to wake up. You need to get to the people. But for Gbapulu County, there is no need to campaign there. But you need to get to Cape Mount. You need to get to Bomi because in Bomi County, talk my bread, Eddie Snow control that particular area they call Bomi County. And Arizona Commune too is popular in Bomi County. You understand? That's the two political parties that is popular there. CDC is not popular there, but Eddie Snow is popular there. And Eddie Snow is supporting President Weah. Arizona Commune too, he's popular there. But Arizona Commune need to work out. You need to work. If you want to be the next president in this country, you need to get to the masses in the favorite towns and villages. You need to get to the people.
So you did I hear you say Cummings does not have to campaign in Gbapulu?
And his party chairman is from there. Are you there? Are you getting me?
Yeah, we are getting you.
His party chairman is from there. Daniel Nathan, he from there. Daniel Nathan is from there. And on the other side too, we are getting information that former finance minister Amara Kone is coming to even contest in Gbapulu County. But for sure, Arizona Commune is popular in Gbapulu County. But Joseph Boakai have a farm there in Gbama district. But the people in Gbama, they are also complaining about Joseph Boakai that the old man, he don't interact with citizens in that particular area. So they need Joseph Boakai in Gbama district. In Gbapulu County, people hate to hear that and they call Joseph Boakai. I like to be friends with people, not just social media. As I told you from the beginning, I'm an independent person. I'm not supporting this government. I'm not supporting Arizona Commune. I'm not supporting Boakai. But Boakai is not popular in Gbapulu County. Just on social media, maybe you can hear good news about Joseph Boakai, but not in Gbapulu County, not in Grand Cape County, not in Bomi County.
Well, thank you very much, Brother Mark.
It's not going to be tough. Nobody must say, I travel a lot, Brother SK. Sometimes I travel in favorite towns and villages. I travel a lot. I travel in midnight. Sometimes I will get into towns to even cross the bridge. It's difficult. Sometimes I sleep in my car and all. Sometimes I have to go. Sometimes I go several and go and book a hotel there to sleep there. And the next day I come back. But Arizona community to work. If you want to be the next person in this country, you need people, potential people that will send you out there. If not, you're going to find it difficult. If not, even Joseph Boakai, you're going to find it difficult. They need to get to the people. Potential youth, potential citizens in the different towns and villages. That may you stand better chance. But not on social media. If you say you're wasting your time on social media, you're going to find it difficult. Come 2023. But the president too, they are working. But the recent sanction against the government also bring the government morale down. And they are coming, another strategy. And how that strategy going to work? They need to wake up. If they want for this man to leave from power, they need to wake up. But people love Arizona Commune in Gbapulu County. They love it in Bomi County. You just need to wake up. You need a good strategy. You need a good team that will send it out to the people.
All right. Thank you very much, Brother Mike Jawata, for that update. We like to hear it. And I believe many NC and CDCPP people now are smiling when hearing that. But yet you add a caveat to it, which is they have to work harder and they got to reach out to the people. So, Steve, back to you, to your analysis. You were talking about the letter, the responses between the president and the Senator. Fortunately, Brother Mark came in. We decided to fill in because he is in Liberia and he's using data to join us. So, yeah, let's get back to your analysis. Mike, interrupt us anytime if you have something else to add. So, yes, Steve, back to you. You are muted.
So thank you, Mr. Kane. Thanks to Mark for the update. We like to also hear from other people on ground who have other information that would like to provide us. So Mark will be in and out and joining us as much as he can or as the data will permit him.
So I was saying to Mike, Mike, I was telling you, Steve going to carry on his analysis. If you have anything to add, just let us know. Give us a signal. Then you interrupt us. Then we'll give you the chance to speak since you are in and out.
Right. So quickly, I wanted to first of all point out a picture that seditions and some people are passing around with on Facebook, and a video that they're passing around with on Facebook about President Weah and his humanitarian work to Liberia or Liberians, whether it was in the camp or it was in Liberia in itself. The first thing I wanted to say is we need to stop being deceptive as Liberians. Let's say the truth. Did President George Weah do humanitarian work in Liberia, Ghana, and other places in Ivory Coast? Yes, he did, because the facts are there. However, President George Weah did not take his money to go to Liberia and do humanitarian work. President George Weah was appointed UNICEF ambassador in 1997. So the pictures that you are seeing with President George Weah and some white people standing behind him and whatever it is a picture of UNICEF. UNICEF appointed him. Every dime spent, it was UNICEF project. UNICEF did that, and that's what UNICEF does with popular figures and athletes such as Jackie Chin. Jackie Chin is also a UNICEF ambassador. David Beckham is a UNICEF ambassador. When you get to UNICEF website, you will see all of these people and the times they serve. So we need to make sure we clarify these things and not be deceptive to our people and say, oh, President George Weah came here and he brought peace. No, that is not true. That's not true. That was not what happened. So we need to be clear about that. Another thing that's also passing around social media is passing around from the aide of the president. Sekou Carrasco, the managing director from Lena, what his name? Labrador News Agency. What is my friend Kwame Weeks and Gilman and other people are passing around with video with what the guy named this actor Denzel Washington. Now, what happened in 2004? There is an award that is given to athlete. This award is actually with ESPN. Now, for those of you in Liberia who might not know what ESPN is, ESPN is actually sport television network. They are responsible for this award. Now, it was the 12th annual award of it's called the EPSY. Now, that award, it was done in 2004 in Washington, D.C. Now, please let us not say that it was humanitarian award that was given to George Weah for what he did for the Liberian people. That is not true. That is a misconception. That is a lie. That is not true. That was an individual award. Other sport athletes have received similar award, and they do it every year. So these pictures and videos that you are seeing, where they lie to our people and say, oh, George Weah were doing this, that one make it again the award. It's not true. You know what did it for the Liberian people? It was his personal award. So when President George Weah won the Ballon d'Or, was it for the Liberian people? Did they give him the Ballon d'Or for the Liberian people? No, that is not true. Like a personal accomplishment. It was not humanitarian award that he did.
I disagree with you on that. Let me just come in, Moses.
Please come with
what a President Weah won the Ballon d'Or, also represent the country name. The name George Weah can also identify Liberia. George Weah have done so many things in this country. So we should appreciate that. We should not be discussing in politics around here to say, look, because SYC is carrying photo on social media. He did extremely well. But that does not mean that he can manage his country better. When he did prior to the war, he did extremely well. He sent a lot of young guys to school. He went to Ghana. He went to the Ivory Coast. He went to the Guinea. He also intervened in the peace process here during the Civil War. He interacted with rebel leaders around here. He used his time. You understand? So we should appreciate on that. We should appreciate on that. Yeah, Mark, I want us to appreciate on that.
Mark, I think we're saying two different things. I will have to disagree with you. I mean, let me say disrespectfully, but I have to disagree with you.
Respectfully
disagree with you on this. And the reason I want to respectfully disagree with you on this is this. Mark, when you are an ambassador for something, and they say Mark is the UN ambassador to Liberia, yes, you are doing the work, but you are operating under the umbrella of UN. We can't say that his personal money. We can't say that his personal money.
Mike, let him conclude. And then
we can't say that his personal money he took to do good for the Liberian people. That's deceptive, and that's what we're trying to clarify. I'm not saying he wasn't representing UN. I'm not saying he didn't do the humanitarian work in Liberia. I'm not going to say that. For initially when I started, I say he did do humanitarian work in Africa, in Ghana, and so forth. That is a fact. There are records of it. However, he was sent there to do a job, as opposed to what the seditionists are trying to make it look like. President George Weah took his own money from a packet, came and helped Liberian people, came and went to the refugee camp and helped Liberian people. That is not truth. When President George Weah went to Ghana around 1997, he went as a UN ambassador. That's a fact. These are written facts. I'm not going to go by what Liberians they say. Now, why the President George Weah? There's a huge noise.
I just muted Mike.
I'm not going to sit here and do our Liberian people talking points where there are no facts to substantiate these things. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, President George Weah went to the camp and he gave refugee food. No, that is not true. President George Weah did not do that. And we're not going to sit here and allow people to twat or change the facts. We shouldn't do that. We'll be doing disservice to the country. Did President George Weah do humanitarian work in Liberia under the auspices of the UNICEF? Yes, he did. Then we are factual about that. But we can't give him credit and say, oh, he did sponsor people.
Let's give Mike.
The Mike and okay, very good.
Go ahead.
Are you there?
Mike, go ahead. Yes,
we're listening.
I'm not getting you guys. It's like something is going on.
No, we're getting you. You're very loud and clear. We're good. We're good. We can hear you.
No, I'm not getting you guys. Let me leave and come back. Let me leave and come back. Yeah.
So, Mr. Kane, on a bigger note, this is why I wanted to establish. The assertion that President George Weah went to Liberia or went to the refugee camps. There's no evidence to back those things. Those are political points people are trying to prove or trying to push, and it's wrong. Let's be factual about it. If you say he went on a humanitarian work through the UNICEF and he was paid to do that, and he used the UNICEF resources to do that, that's true. There is no wrong about it. Did he receive an award from ESPN? And who handed him the award? It was Denzel Washington in 2004 in Washington, D.C. That happened. Was he awarded because he did humanitarian work in Liberia? No, that was not what he was awarded for. And we need to state these facts so that we can get this.
So, what you're saying here, if I'm getting you clearly, so people are formulating the social media saying that award was given to him because of humanitarian work.
Exactly.
Okay. Now I got you. So, Mike.
Yeah.
So I want to get back to the politics a little bit because you are giving some information that I personally want to know more about. It seems like you are being around 3 counties. Correct me if I'm wrong. Bomi County, Gbapolu, and Cape Mount. So you spoke about Gbapolu and Bomi County, but you said a little bit about Cape Mount. Can you give me an update as to what's going on in Cape Mount and who is actually in the minds of the people there?
Okay, then what I got to say, then let me start with the senatorial seat. And Haitian Kasulu from district number 17 is one of the popular guys. He going to contest from Mosserado. He's going to contest for the seat and in Grand Cape Mount County. Vani Shema is from popular, and the people in Cape Mount they hate to hear the name Vani Sherman. And he had to interact with the citizen. He goes around and he talks to the citizen, and that's what he do. So he's unpopular. The popular person in the Grand Cape Mount County now is Harrison Cassidy from the Unity Party. He may let them win the senatorial seat in that particular era. But the Simon Taylor too is a very popular guy. The guy who crossed to CDC, he's a very popular guy for the Gola Connect district era. That era, and it's a tough district. In that era, that district is a populated era. So, and he are carrying the message of CDC, promoting the CDC agenda on our side in Grand Cape Mount County. Then when you come to the Bomi era, you have the Alexander Comey and that of Eddie Snow. Eddie Snow, not CDC now, not CDC. Because Eddie Snow, he will use his strategy to campaign for President Weah comes 2023 in Bomi County. And the people there, they love him. He has built a radio station. You have a farm there. You have employed a lot of Liberians on that side. Then when you get to Gbapolu County, and they need CDC and that of ANC Alexander Comey. Alexander Comey is popular in Gbapolu County than Joseph Boakai. And it's a 50-50 on our side between CDC and that of our ANC in Gbapulu County. Because the chairman of our ANC, he's from there, called Daniel Nathan. He's from there too. So and ANC is popular there. Arizona County is popular there. CDC is popular there. Because you get an area there, they call the Kungbo District area there. The Kungbo District, no politician ever visit that side. That side is between Sierra Leone and Liberia and Gbapulu County. It's a 13-hour drive there in Kungbo District. That is one of the most populated district in Gbapulu County. But no politician ever reached there yet.
So you're saying that the current Senator Vani Sherman, is no longer popular in Cape Mount?
No, he's no longer popular in Cape Mount. The people said they are rushing for the election to come so they can replace him and KwaZulu. And one lady called Badala on I don't know her name. She too, she won the strong lady, but KwaZulu is doing well on that side. And about interacting with the people, he go and sleep there, and that's what is going on there now in that particular area. But Sima Taylor too from Cape Mount, he too is promoting the CDC agenda on that side.
But is Winner Vani Sherman position going to be contested for this time around, correct?
Yes. Because he's not popular no more, and the people have no confidence in him. And first of all, some of the imams in that area, because Grand Cape Mount County and 85% of the population, they are Muslim there in Grand Cape Mount County. And when the imam got together, they went and speak to Vani Sherman. He insulted them there. So the people are angry there. They are telling their children not to vote for Vani Sherman because he insulted the imams on our side. Over 50 imams that he insulted.
Steve, do you have a question for Mike? Any of you have a question for Mike?
Okay, so let's Steve go ahead. Yes, because Mark been on the platform for a very long time. He's a tough talking person. So Mark, let me say good evening to you. And your background is a little bit dark, even though I know that it's already in the evening time. But Mark, with this elections and the timetable of the or maybe the timetable coming from the election commission, I don't know what the reaction like from our people after the National Election Commission releasing their timetable for 2023 election.
It's frozen again.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I think Mark.
Steve.
Yes. So
I'm going to go back to the letter because I'm interested in that response.
Yes, let's get to the response of the letter now, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Let's do that.
Yeah. So, regarding some of the statements made by Cummings, people are saying what Cummings talk about Weah's contribution to Model, and that was, somehow a talking point from Yeke Kolba, Representative Yeke Kolba. Why should Cummings allow himself to buy into a talking point from Yeke Kolba? That was not correct and stuff like that. But you talk about some numerical contest. How did they arrive at that point? Not only an allegation of Weah being of one of the financiers of the rebel organization, but to also give a number, clear number, as to what he contributed. How did they arrive at that junction?
First of all, Mr. Connor, that's a good question. When I read the response of this letter, one of the things that triggered me or that got my attention was that portion. But I want to say, in all actuality, the entire letter, the entire response was necessary. Let me say this so that we can be so I can be on the record. The reason it was necessary was it was President George Weah trying to assert himself again through the same lies and propaganda that we just cleared out to the public as being humanitarian, as giving back to Liberians. When truly speaking, President George Weah himself was not humanitarian from his pocket. He was doing a job that he was paid for. So he needed to clarify and make this assertion claim. But not only that, he also made an assertion about where Mr. Cummings was and so forth. So the reason this letter was important was not only for Mr. Cummings to point out where he was, what he has done, but also to let the public know that President George Weah lied to the Liberian people, and also point out that President George Weah had a participation in the conflict in Liberia. So it was not just Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. So this letter is critically important. So some people want to downplay it. Some people want us to brush it off and say, "Oh, you know, Happy, and you're reducing the presidency to this." No. In fact, I believe the conversation has been elevated. I believe these things are on record. I've always maintained this, and I'll say it again. Whether you like Alexander Cummings or not, Alexander Cummings is not a loose talker. He doesn't just say things. The fact that he hasn't distanced himself from this letter means that he owns this letter. The fact that President George Weah has not distanced himself from this letter also means he owns it. So we can take for face value that this is the direct communication. They're telling the Liberian people where they were, and eventually, hopefully, we can get to what they will do. So let me read a portion that caught my attention based on the question you've asked to corroborate your question. I think it is important. So I think this is on page 4 in one of the paragraphs. Let me read it. The writings are small here, so I will be using my phone.
It's okay. Take your time.
You also cannot credibly refute claims. This one he is saying this is claims that you contributed and helped to direct the activities of Movement for Democracy in Liberia, which is MODEL, a faction group in the Liberian Civil War. In this context, Mr. Cummings directly or indirectly implicates President George Weah as facilitating the rebel group MODEL. But let's continue this letter. The faction group in Liberian Civil War, including paying for logistical support in 2002. Let's get this clear. Paying for logistical support in 2002. So there is a year attributed to this. I will break it down to all of us to understand this. Paying for logistical support in 2002 for MODEL rebels to travel from Ivory Coast. So there is also a place, there's a year or place now given to the Liberian people. I will tell you why this is important also. To travel from the Ivory Coast ports to Sino County, another location in Liberia, to fight against Taylor's government. May I remind you that Liberian died in that military misventure. But let's move forward. This is where it gets a little interesting. For me, this is where it gets a little interesting. It is also reported that you rented fishing boats and provided guns and ammunition. Estimated, now numbers are being added to this, estimated at about $150,000 US to MODEL. And much earlier on in 1999, we move forward. You provided food and supplies costing between 20,000 to 25,000 United States dollar. These are some of the allegations made against President Weah to the Liberian United for Reconciliation and Development, which is LORD. Another rebel group in the Liberian Civil War. This is where it got my interest. It don't make any sense. People don't wake up in the morning and pick years, locations, dates, and time to attribute to a certain person in a crime. The only way this can be done, Mr. Conley, unless you have an insight or unless you have someone that is giving you direct knowledge and understanding of what's going on. That is the only way these things will happen. The fact that Alexander B. Cummings was able to pinpoint these things, pinpoint numbers, but I want to take us back to something that's interesting in the letter. Mr. Alexander Cummings ties President George Weah to wanting to overthrow President Taylor. Now, why would I try to put a piece together. Why would Alexander Cummings want to tie President George Weah to former President Taylor? Remember, it was President Taylor who told the Liberian people the very first time that President George Weah wanted to be president. And at that, President George Weah left the country. Let's be clear on this. He left.
All right, let me interrupt you for a second.
Please.
You know, when Weah made a section that he left Milan to Conakry to help the Liberian people. He left this place to Ivory Coast. He left that place to Ghana and this and that. We investigated and we found out that most of those things were deceptions, they were lies and fabrications. However, Mr. Cummings sees a section here attaching all those numbers, date, and time. Can we collaborate those information as well? Because not because Cummings is saying it, that doesn't make it a fact.
Exactly.
Can we collaborate the information as well? If we can question the account of George Weah,
right,
we might as well question the account of Cummings.
And that's why
how can Cummings collaborate or defend this information or this information?
So you've and what we are responsible to do now over the next few weeks is to determine the same way how we went to find out what President Weah said.
We are lying on a lot of things.
He lied. So we are going on, and the quote here is, it is reported. The quote here, it is reported. So how can we substantiate these things? But let me do that connection first, maybe to just get a clarity. President Weah and President Taylor initially had a good relationship. Apparently, the relationship fell apart. Up until now, everybody's silenced on it. But let's come back to the point that you've made. Is President George Weah willing to refute these claims? Because these are not just mere claims that you and I are around. This is attaching a president to war crimes. This is attaching a president to war crime and to also plotting to overtake or to remove a certain president, which was successful, by the way, because President Taylor was removed. He resigned. So this is bigger, and we are going to dig into this, but we have to bring it to the public that these allegations made to President Weah. Is President Weah willing to go into this and say, I want to clear my name from these allegations? These are grave allegations. These are very, very, very grave allegations. I will say this to President George Weah. If I were in the case of President George Weah, I would sue Mr. Cummings to gather the facts from where he got these things. Or I would go to court with this. These are grave allegations. Let me tell you, I told President Weah from the beginning, don't answer to this letter. I told Common Buka Denso that I recommended that to the Common Buka Denso.
And focus on the kid that's about to go to school. Forget about the big team, look, start spending a lot of money on a lot of.
I'm confused. So these are grave allegations. The biggest question now is, while we are investigating these things, is President Weah willing to publicly refute and distance himself? This is not the first time we have heard about some of these allegations that President Weah is attached to a rebel group or participating in the war. Mind you, President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf took responsibility and admitted that she did contribute to the war. She's admitted to that. So here are some of the questions that we've been asking behind closed doors, and we're waiting for responses. Did President George Weah use his time with the UNICEF to do the UNICEF job and corroborate with these rebel groups? Did he do that? If these allegations are truth, and we're not saying that they're true yet, did he do that? Did he do that? Not only that, can the monies that are being talked about here be traced back to him, to President George Weah. These things are war crimes. Mr. Kane, I'm telling you and the Liberian people today that this is big and we shouldn't joke with it. We should get to the bottom of this to be able to understand. We go into 2023 elections. I told President George Weah, don't answer this thing because this thing, it was a trap. And the trap was in two folds. Number one, we say you bring back Alexander Cummings in the game. Let me say it that way. Number two, you have exposed yourself as well because all of these allegations are hanging on your neck. You can't just leave it laying. You cannot just leave it laying as a president. You cannot just leave it laying. I have records of people that have been presidents that are indicted as of today. So is President George Weah willing to challenge these allegations or to disprove these facts? Are we looking forward to another letter? And yet people want to downplay this. This is not a downplaying thing. I've heard some seditions saying, oh, President Weah was not on the war and economic crimes list or whatever it is, or the TRC list. Well, not everybody that committed crimes or that participated in the war, their names are on that list. We have Massa Washington on here that told the same thing. We had Jerome Verde on here that told the same thing. People who did this work, they've told us those things. So that not everybody that on our list were implicated, that knew were directly there. So that's not something we need to dive into. What I'm really concerned about is looking forward into these allegations to substantiate them, but also what is President George Weah going to say about these grave allegations that have been put up on his name at this time of his life or his presidency? Because this has the potential to really drag him, and he could face problem for that even after the presidency. He could.
Yeah. So that's why I was seriously concerned about, because this guy is a sitting president being accused or being implicated in financing rebel organization, rebel group that caused havoc and mayhem on the people of Liberia. And they were accusing Ellen of being a financier of a rebel organization, the NPFL, led by Charles Taylor. If he can be accused of similar thing, that is very serious. People could say perhaps that is the reason why he's doing nothing about
exactly
the War and Economic Crimes Code, because he will be implicated. So this allegation, let me say this, could also make or break the ANC and Alexander Cummings.
Yes.
Make or break in the sense, it could make Cummings more credible, more authentic, more serious of a person if these information allegation can be authenticated. That's one. And it will break him or break the ANC or render the ANC not credible or Cummings not credible if they cannot lead out to the sources providing this information.
So Mr.
Kanye may not like me saying this, but that's just the truth. In as much as we went behind, we know very well we did not go to Guinea to give anything to any refugee in Guinea, but they lied about that.
Yeah.
We did not go to Ivory Coast to give anything to any refugee. We know he lied about that. Yes, we went to Ghana, but we didn't go there to distribute food on people.
No, he went chilling.
He went there where people went to him, or he visited from friends. He visited some friends at the refugee camp where people went to him. He gave them $1 or $2. That was just went there for vacation, merrymaking, meeting friends, looking for girlfriends and stuff like that. That happened in Ghana. We know that. But to use the presidency to fabricate lies, to fabricate stories under the pretext of politics, to deceive the Liberian people. We checked behind it. We found out it was a lie. And the president also lied that he let go his career for the sake of Liberian people. That was also a big lie.
No, yeah.
That was also a big lie. So if Mr. Cummings and the ANC or the CPP should be taken seriously, they should not follow the same path. If we are lying, he shouldn't lie. Stick to the fact, regardless. You don't have to score political points. Just stick to the facts. So if this information provided can be authenticated, that will render Mr. Cummings more credible, more authentic, and more serious of a person. But if they cannot be authenticated, then let it point out clearly to the source. Then we can also investigate. In the end, we provide the facts to the Liberian people based on information available to us.
So Mr. Kane.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I know you wanted to transition on some things here, but before we transition on some things, while we're on, so part of the research we have done so far is that if this thing pushes, remember Edwin Snow has always said when he got to know President George Weah, this thing looks like it's very interesting. And I'm very interested in these facts because everyone who played a role in the war must be held accountable. I don't care who you are. I could care less. Or they must be pointed out, and we should know them and know how to handle them. So it is alleged, and we're still following up, that this is where President George Weah and Edwin Snow relationship really dates back to. That Edwin Snow hinted him about President Taylor's plan to get rid of him. This is getting interesting. But again, like I said, we are following the trends. We are doing the necessary research from this side about these allegations, where the numbers are coming from. Mr. Kane, I'm interested in where if this was just an alleged thing that people just talk about, Yeke have talked about it as alleged President Breshidov, right? To attach numbers, yes, figures.
Yeah, time.
This is not just a bluff. I don't want to take this as a bluff. Again, for those of you who are just looking at this thing from the mayor, maybe let Jago listen, and Sekou then Cummings man, and they will talk for Cummings and the other station. Listen, when people start to attach numbers, figures, that means these things are traceable. There are traceable fact evidence. I cannot just wake up and just say the amount you spend for this is between 20 to 25,000. You have an insight.
Yeah.
You understand?
That's how it sounds like. And that's how it sounds. That's why it is critically important.
Exactly.
That we dig deeper.
Yes.
To find out as to what is really going on. So again, folks, if you just joining us, this is SKTV and SKTV Live. Also on Truth FM 96.1 in the Republic of Liberia. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for following SKTV. This is what we do. We discuss the issue. We follow the facts. We follow the truth. No matter where it takes us, we are very, very, very consistent when it comes to following the truth. Steve, one of the questions I want to ask you before we go to Liberia, because we'll be going to Liberia to ask people what do they think about these letters or exchanges between the president and Mr. Cummings. I hope you're paying attention. Okay. So the question is, as we speak, President Weah and his people, some of them are here watching and listening. If you were the president or you were advising the president right now, what would be your advice to him in regard to this whole back and forth, especially these allegations levied against the president? If you were advising him, what would you say to him? Assuming that the president is watching you right now. I'm not saying he's watching, but I know some people are watching that are very close to the president. But assuming that he's watching right now.
Mr. Kane, let me just be honest with you.
Oh, you don't want to advise the president?
No, let me be honest with you. every one of us have provided. Everyone has provided some kind of advice openly. There are some strategic recommendations, whether I do Alexander Cummings, whether I do President George Weah, Jose Yuma Boaka, Yombli Kanga Lawrence, Benena Ure, and so forth. I will not talk in public. Let me tell you why I will not talk in public.
Okay.
Nobody sits all night to do research, talk about final things or whatever it is, and just come in public and just waste it for free. I don't do that. No, I don't think any politician deserves that. People pay for these things. People pay people to do these things. So I will say to President George Weah, anything you want to do, let him do it. The first advice that we're giving to President George Weah. And they said around and say, oh, you hate this man, you do this one. So because I call him Common Buga Dancer, the advice that I said, don't reply to that, please. Or this, forget about that thing, disengage. That was not important because I said Common Buga Dancer. Okay, Common Buga Dancer, do what you want to do. So you see, the point I'm trying to make here is President George Weah has put himself in a quagmire again. He can't keep silent on it. His silence will be complacency and will be that he agrees that this. Yet if he answers, there could be further proof or this could exacerbate this to implicate other people around here as well. This is a big. Okay, let me put it this way. I'm not going to say some. I don't want to use certain words before people get certain clue on something. But truly speaking, Mr. Kane, let me use it the Liberian way or the way that others will understand it. This is a trap. President George Weah must sit. Those who wrote that letter for President George Weah, they must sit and think about how they will respond. Why do you think? Let me ask this question, Mr. Kane. Let me ask you a question. Why do you think of everything that has happened in the country, Mr. Alexander Cummings? Maybe that might not be your first time, but he writes this open letter that finally catches the attention of President George Weah. Why did Mr. Cummings not take this letter, seal it, as some sedition wanted, because everything they wanted to spoon feed it to them, or you might fall in line. When you not fall in line, you don't love the country, you don't love George Weah. Why did Mr. Alexander Cummings not write President George Weah a close letter?
I think he has done that before.
No. I said on this issue, I know he has done that before, but why did he do it this time? And why did he go above and beyond to write open letter? Why?
I believe, from my understanding, especially my understanding of politics, it's because of timing, and the second thing could be because if you advise people behind the scene over and over, and they don't listen, and you take care about them or about the country, then you advise them in public so that people can know that you're not sitting back supinely, watching the country go down the drain. At least you are providing some help, whether it's through advice, directly or indirectly. But let the people know that you are not just sitting back supinely and doing nothing. So maybe Cummings wanted to be on the record that we have been doing this for this guy. We have been helping him behind the scene. We have advised him. We have provided some open advice to him by talking. We have written him. Even during the corona crisis, he helped directly or indirectly. We are aware of that. And if the president does not seem to get it, you want to put him on the spotlight to the Liberian people. Now election time is here. This guy does not seem to understand or to know what is going on. He doesn't want to learn from other people who know something. He doesn't want to take advice. We've been trying to talk to him behind the scene. Now, we're going to do it in public so you yourself can be a witness to know. And that got the president's attention. This guy trying to put me against the people, trying to incite the public sentiment against me so that people can understand that, I don't know what I'm doing, or maybe he's been advising me, but I'm not listening. So I got to take a swap at him. I got to attack him. And second reason, one of the reasons why Cummings been giving advice before, being saying X, Y, and Z to George, we have never cared about it. Because now, The sanction is on, and they are looking at Cummings as one of the major contender of the presidency. And they know very well that Cummings has a leverage in America, not only anywhere in the diaspora, but in America. That also Cummings has a leverage when it comes to corporations, private sectors, that people are watching and listening. Anything, Cummings does not speak loosely. Anything coming from Cummings is coming from somewhere else, something, or he aiming at something, or he's trying to get to something. So he has a track record of that. So when we saw this, they say, you know what, we shouldn't let this thing go. Because we've been sitting down, this thing means happening. They may have said X, Y, and Z in the past. He has done X, Y, and Z in the past. We did not listen. Guess what happened? You know, Cummings made it very clear to the world that he was being persecuted for political reasons. And people buy into it. If you look at the letter sanctioning Serena Sifas, it says Serena Sifas was concealing. He was keeping evidences away just to make sure he got conviction. That everything that happened to Cummings was somehow mentioned some way, directly or indirectly, in the sanction letter. To tell you, when I first read the letter, the sanction document, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was some Liberian who went behind the scene and write these things. But when I found out that this is coming from the United States government, in fact, the Treasury Department, it tells me that. So let me say one thing today, Steve. I know some people will not like it, but I will say it. People who are saying, oh, Cummings is working behind the scene. Cummings is going to Washington, D.C. He's moving from here and there, office to office, to post sanction on government officials. Is Cummings behind it? Oh, Cummings not behind it? Let me tell you this. If I was Cummings, if I was running for president in the Republic of Liberia, I will never shy away from that. I will even be going around taking credit. What is wrong of somebody going to fight for you, to post sanction on people who are stealing from the country and the people? What's wrong with that? Even if I still could have the opportunity, I would do the same. What I will not do, what I will not support or take credit for, to do anything that will harm the Liberian people, but something that will alleviate poverty and agony from our people, I will support that. Cummings should even be celebrating. He should be celebrating for taking credit. People are saying, oh, Cummings is the one working with it. You know what it means? For you to be running for president, you're not president yet, but yet you are impacting the American government decision. Then tell me what happened if you become president. Jowiah has been struggling. He and the entire government been struggling to meet and discuss substantive issues with policy makers in this country. But if they can accuse you of whining and dining with policy makers, imagine that's a campaign for Cummings. Imagine now if Cummings become president. The man is whining and dining with the leaders of this country. People who gave money to Liberia, to the war, to change the life of their people. The people who making decisions that govern the entire world indirectly. For Liberia, there's no country in the world that have contributed financially, morally, to the survival of Liberia than the United States. So now, people should not shy away when they accuse Cummings of being the one that motivate the government of America to put sanctions on criminals and rogues. You should be celebrating. That means if Cummings become president, you have more leverage to do a lot of things for Liberia from the United States. If Cummings was fighting somebody or fighting people to put sanction on the country. We're in Pusawa, right? We're not be going to Liberia. We're in things can become difficult for the Liberian people. Nothing, they put sanction on country that carry food and other commodity into the country. Yeah, you have problem with that. But if this man is advocating to sanction criminals, to stop, when I listen to McGill today, talking like someone a sorrowful child, you know, maybe somebody talk to the American people, somebody go to job, go to honey, but I know America is a big country. They will not, you know, they will not just go. He just, they're contradicting himself. You can see the confusion and sorrow in his face. So, Steve, what I'm trying to say here in short, all this tit for tat between Cummings and George Weah, it means that Cummings has gotten the attention of the government. They are considering him as the major, one of the major, if not the major contender in the upcoming election. And they have also acknowledged the fact that if they don't take on Cummings at this point, try to take him down, it will be too late for them. And I got the information yesterday that they had a meeting and they have decided to go with Cummings. As a matter of fact, I was told that they have nothing tangible on him, that they're going to elevate the conversation. Oh, the man supposed to be right. Oh, that's what they have right now. Nothing else. Oh, they may put in sanction on Liberian people. So I told the person, say, if somebody say Cummings is putting sanction on people who are stealing from the Liberian people, who are stealing the Liberian people money, using it for themselves and their girlfriend, if we can be able to stop them, that means they may do more if he's president. The idea of the man being a gay, that one, it means that they have nothing else to argue with him. So in short, this letter, Steve, you know what it does? It elevates the conversation as to who really have something for the Liberian people. These guys continuing to talk about irrelevant issues, taking pictures of somebody, making that a conversation. It means that they are bankrupt with argument to make to the Liberian people. And sooner or later, it will be too late for them.
What I'm tempted to say this, but I also have to be careful about how I say it, because it's important for us to understand that whatever plan they have, whatever conversation they want to raise up, they've already identified the main problem. They've identified their contender, whether we like it or not, from the look of things. And that's why you see other people who support maybe other people will say, oh, they had nothing to do with the Liberian people, and it has nothing to do with our country, and why you're cheering up letter or whatever it is. Well, I'll say this, whether you're a man or woman, whether you are educated or not, let me say this. For you to dismiss this particular ongoing conversation, that means you are not fair. That means you are not fair. If this particular conversation were between the person you support and President George Weah, you would be elevating this conversation. You would be having this conversation as well. Whether it is Cummings, it is Barker, whoever it is, the nature of this conversation, the content of this conversation, nobody's elevating any kind of letter, any kind of communication. It is the content within there that we are considering. Because any paper you read, you have to read the content. That's what you consider. I don't care if somebody write President George Weah and say, President George Weah, I know you get girlfriend in Ghana. I don't care, but that is not important. That what her name problem. That Cloud Weah's problem. Not my problem. I'm not going to discuss it, to be quite honest. But if you talk about the sanction on the country and the corruption in the country, and you talk about a certain president allegedly connected to war crimes and supporting rebels to remove another certain president, it is concerning. It should be a national concern and a focus.
And as a matter of fact, to agree with you to a larger extent, President Weah could even be arrested after the presidency with no connection to all of the corruption going on right now. Simply because of his connection, his action, his alleged action, his alleged support and financing a rebel faction to rain havoc and anarchy on the people of Liberia. Trust me, that is concerning, and people will take it very seriously. Now, if it's coming from anybody, people will not care that much. But Cummings being a presidential candidate who does now also talk loosely, when something is coming from him, people don't take it lightly. And I want to ask something, Steve. Please. This idea of desperation. If you want something and you're not desperate to get it, then you are an unserious person. If you want something, if you're not desperate to get it, desperation is relative. Let's say, for example, you know why many people are giving up on Joseph Nima Boakai? People say he's not talking when he's supposed to talk. He's not showing seriousness. He's not showing how desperate he is to take the havoc over the people of Liberia. To take the havoc off of the people. He's not desperate enough to take this government on a daily basis. He's not desperate enough to make the case to the Liberian people. He thinks he can just relax, sit back, allow few loudmouth to make the case for him without himself getting involved. So even if you're looking for a job, if you're not desperately looking for a job, you will not get a good job. Trust me. You gotta be desperate, especially. You know what Obama called the sense of urgency of now? The sense of urgency of now. You know what I mean? It means that you have to attach urgency to a change that is needed. It's like one more day, one more week, one more month, one more year. It's one too many. That's what it means. So you have to be desperate to make sure that one more day is not added to the 6th year. That one more month, one more week, or one more year is not added to the 6th year. So you got to fight desperately to make sure that you achieve that goal. But you want to be cold.
What, Mr. Canelo? Mr. Canelo?
Yeah.
When somebody wants to save a life, whether that's your life or that's somebody's life, how do you do it? Are you in a chill?
You gotta move as swift as possible.
Exactly. So this issue of desperation. Okay.
In a timely fashion as well.
Let's agree. Let's keep our factor constant. Mr. Comey is desperate. Boakai not desperate, right? And Boakai not desperate. And other people not desperate.
Mm-hmm.
And Boakai not desperate. Other people not desperate, right?
They're not.
Why they having rallies?
I don't know.
Why they forming different groups on different sides? Why they accusing other people of stuff that lie? Why? Why they who have been in government for so many years, why they still won't be there if they're not desperate? Who's desperate in this context? All of these things are distraction, Mr. Kanye. All of these things are distraction. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something today. Anything that you're not desperate about, anything that you're not desperate about, especially to save, that means you don't care about it. You don't. I'll tell you the truth. The condition of the Liberian people now.
Let me agree with you, and then you can add. You know the situation in Uvalde, Texas?
Yeah.
You know what the police chief and police departments are getting in trouble? Because they were not desperate enough to take down the gunmen who destroyed the life of the 19 children and 2 teachers. They sat back for hours, knowing the fact that the gunman is in there with the kids and the teachers. But they were not swift enough. They were not desperate enough to take this guy down. They were too slow. They didn't know the danger, or they overlooked the danger. They did not see the sense of urgency to go in and take all necessary risk to save those children's life. They were not desperate because they didn't know the danger, or they underestimated the danger. They downplayed the danger. In the end, they exposed those children and teachers to what happened to them, because they misconstrued, or they underestimated the danger those kids were exposed to, because they don't understand. So if you are not desperate to take the Liberian people out of this agile poverty, if you are not desperate to stop this mysterious killing of Liberian people, if you are not desperate to stop the corruption in the country, if you are not desperate to stop this rape, continuous rape in the country, if you are not desperate enough to take the shame off of the Liberian people that these guys have exposed us to, then I don't know what else you can be desperate for.
Well, Mr. Kanye, to be very honest with you, in fact,
so desperation is just stupid. The word desperation is just stupid. It's even understatement. You should be, if there's any word beyond desperate or above desperate, in order to get the criminals off of your people, I mean, you should go for it.
Mr. Kanye.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, this is what Alexander Cummings needs to be doing. Keep the conversation going. The people who are not desperate, let them be saying that in the house. They will come and vote for them because they own the people of Liberia. The people who are not desperate for change, or they're not desperate to remove this group of bandits, criminals, and crooks and liars. Let them be saying that in the house. The same thing that happened in Lofa County will happen to them. Let them sit down. You know what? The guys are gonna winning something. The guys are gonna look back. The school A 2023 come. And other people desperate. President Joe, we are not desperate to still be president. When he sent Joel Howard Taylor to Bon County in a few days, and they told Joel Howard Taylor to go and sit down somewhere. The people of Bon County, they're not stupid here. I love the people of Bon County for that particular statement. The people are not, the Liberian people are desperate for change. Let me tell you today. The only thing that they just want to make sure they see somebody who will measure to the level of desperate. The people are desperate. They don't want these criminals around them anymore. They don't want President George Weah. George Weah is so desperate to remain in power, up to the point that they got to be paying fake people to go and stand on the road to salute them. That's how desperate they are to stay in power. They are desperate to stay in power. They got to send bunch of lobbyists. Do you know that Bakari sellers resign from the lobbying stuff and walk away from them? They are desperate enough to kind of spend all that money here. And you want to tell me that somebody desperate? You want to tell me that somebody desperate? Oh yes, the ANC people should agree that they are desperate to come to power. What's wrong with that? Some of you who are not desperate, and you can go all the way like brother go bring mayor. They're not desperation. What are you talking about? Who tussle? So the people, let me tell you something. Desperation is the best thing right now that we need in Liberia.
Especially in terms of competition, you got to be desperate to win. You know what? On the field, if you're not desperate to win, you don't have the energy, you don't put in the work, you're not desperate to win, you can't win anything. And in fact, Steve, in every competition, desperation is motivation. If you are desperate to win, because Walker was not desperate enough to win the senatorial election for Unity Party, because he was so relaxed, they were not desperate enough. That's why they lost the way they lost. Because CDC was so desperate to just send a message to say, yes, CDC is a contender in Norfolk County.
Exactly.
Norfolk, because CDC was so desperate, they moved their top dogs into Norfolk. They spent money. They used cash violence. They did everything out of desperation. Guess what happened to them? They won it. You just sit and relax. You're not desperate. And you will see what you will get as a result.
You know what Thomas Fala doing right now in Lofa as we speak out of desperation? Thomas Fala making sure he's sending the town chief there. I don't know if you saw Zanza Kawa. How Zanza Kawa dressed like a real pimp to go to the House of Representatives. The chief Zoe, he dressed like a real pimp. The man eating a dash here, Jada Uncle Pete. I thought Uncle Pete in the House of Representatives. Zanza Kawa was looking too flat. Masaya gave her. So to tell you that these guys are doing everything, they not changed the entire culture of men as Zanza Kawa, who will be our spiritual leader. Guess what happened? Our Zoe, Chief Zoe in the town. Was supposed to be dressing, show outside in that place that was someone a hell of a dirty clothes. Zanza Kawa even wear dress more than the representative. The men were too sharp. I saw Zanza Kawa. The only way I know that was Zanza Kawa, you know what I know? Because of the English. You can say, you know, he can talk, is it a correct English, eh? So that the place I got to know that Zanza, to tell you, say these guys are desperate to change everything. Yeah. Thomas Fala is sending people out of the country from Lofa County. You know what they're doing? They're pampering our people. Right now, the men are holding Lofa County as one of the strongest ground. They get people them passing around, making the load there. They say somebody entitled to them. When other people want to try to make someone a strap, they say, hey, you're too desperate. You're who not desperate, you're going to send us somewhere. They put them who desperate, you're leading alone. What's wrong? You're not desperate, somebody desperate. Why are you mad if somebody is desperate? Why? People who are desperate for success are the people who want to achieve something. But you saying that you're making a low like, Mr. Kanye, let open the line. Yeah.
Steve, guess what? Before we open the line, we're just going to open the line maybe for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then before we open the line, let me say this to you. We are on SKTV and SKTV Live. Guess the funny thing. SKTV, original SKTV, we are 629 people watching. SKTV Live, the new one, has 683 people watching. So it means that you need to send more invite to the people, all the people who are your friends, send invite to them, like and follow SKTV Live. We're not leaving either one of the accounts right now. We'll continue sometimes broadcast simultaneously like we're doing right now, and sometimes like we did last week, we're gonna did one SKTV Live. Maybe tomorrow we're gonna do SKTV Live or maybe SKTV, whatever. But in any case, don't forget to click, like, and follow SKTV Live. SKTV is there. We have SKTV Live. SKTV Live is a new account. If that one has about 600.
If I say SKTV desperate for 2020 election, I will get 2 accounts. We'll make it 3.
Exactly, because you are desperate to make sure you get to all your people there. That's why you have expanded your reach, which is very good. So yes, indeed, it's very, very important. You can if you have the number.
So it is safe to allege that President Joe, we are the rebel leader.
My uncle Preacher.
It is safe to allege that President Joe,
Uncle Preacher is so desperate until he lost from SKTV, but out of desperation, you want to hear what's going on SKTV.
Oh, they can be following from distance. You know, we scrap them. They'll be following from distance, but we go there. But yeah,
in terms of politics, I don't like Prince Sherry play politics, but I like him as a person.
Mr. Kane. So it's safe to allege that President George Weah is not only a Buka Tenso, but he's a rebel leader. Maybe the thing what he's to be doing because the thing what he's to be.
Yeah. So George Weah is a rebel leader?
Yeah, we allege that he's a rebel leader because he's according to the documentation now, The allegation that is on President George Weah. President George Weah supported Model and Lord, so he's a rebel leader. It is safe to say President George Weah is
the man is alleged rebel leader.
Buka Denso alleged rebel leader. I will read it on my page and make sure and tell him that we need to find out if we need to come and tell whether you're a rebel leader or not. Vote that title for him. But for now, he's alleged rebel leader. So Prince Sherry then supporting a rebel leader. All of them, they're small rebel, that small soldier there. Prince Sherry and all of them, that small soldier. How would we call them now?
But how can all these citizens become small rebel there?
They're not tiny citizens, you. They are tiny small soldier. So small soldier then we get. Yeah, because if the B men are rebel leader, then you small soldier automatically. So we get a bunch of small soldier then oh yeah. That's why they quote the misbehaving and this going to. So small soldier then we get. And I want as a matter of fact, to prove that they are small soldier, that's why they always passing around with beret.
Okay.
Yeah, a bunch of small soldiers.
Cause that's not coming already.
I got one call. I got the first call, Mr. Cunningham.
Okay, take the first call. Take the first call, then I'll take a call from here.
Yeah, let me make that statement. Imagine somebody in America that you're working for your own money and you still wearing beret passing around. And that's small soldier mentality there. So small soldier then will get passing around.
Okay. And take the first call there.
When's your small soldier?
Cyrus, man, I like to be the first. Minneapolis.
Yeah, Cyrus. Go ahead, man. You laughing? I call him small soldier, then you laughing. So small soldier don't get on here.
People always claim they are fighting a revolution. I don't know what revolution they are.
Exactly. That's small soldier then.
Yeah, they want to always display this rebel tendency and this military
Whole
style.
day, Abbas. Bunch of small
Anyway,
soldiers.
the reason I called, like you said, you made a very salient point concerning the letter between Cummings and George Weah. And I fundamentally believe, Mitt Romney made a statement in 2012. He said, if you don't have anything to run on, you want to turn your opponent into something people might run from. That's a very powerful statement.
Yep.
This calculated attempt against Cummings is a test transmission for CDC politically.
Yep.
CDC cannot make a case against Cummings. I tell anybody, you may say Cummings don't have the number, but Cummings is the most dangerous candidate in 2023. Because what makes someone dangerous is when you cannot project what they are capable of doing. It's like a dark house. Because, like I said, when you want to talk about change, Cummings can make the case that he's a change candidate. Never been connected to past government, never been connected to any looting of the country. George Weah cannot make the case that he's more competent than Cummings when it comes to executive experience. He cannot make the case that he has more international contact than Cummings. So at the end of the day, there is nothing that can stick on Cummings. I keep telling people the same. George Weah will always make a moral argument against the Unity Party-led government. That's what he's saying, trying to do to Cummings. He's trying to see if it can work. Like I said, it's all predictive programming. You try this something to see what will happen in the future. You test it right now. Yeah. Because if George Weah is going to bring Cummings as if Cummings was the president for the past 12 years, then it tells you what he would do to Joseph Walker. Because all the narrative fit Joseph Walker perfectly.
So Cyrus, hold on 1 second. Cyrus, hold on. I beg you for your thought. I've always said this on other platforms, and I'll say it here. This letter was never intended for Cummings. They only tweak certain things around to make it look like to divert it to Cummings. But this letter, from the content of this letter, it was geared and targeted to Black Eye.
Yes, because he can make a moral argument against the Unity Party. He cannot make a moral argument against Cummings.
Exactly.
When people say, oh, they were the leaders, they want in power. What George Weah literally saying in that letter is, I have the right to be corrupt. Because the people who should have been better than me were more corrupt as well. And it was because of that we got CDC. So technically, CDC and Unity Party are one of the same. That's what he was trying to say. So I keep telling folks, George Weah, he may not be the smartest guy in the room when it comes to academic, but he's not a dummy either. Nope. You don't play football at a professional level and be an idiot. No. He got hit kind of for intelligence. He got speed, being on the street. He got people that surround him to got a little bit idea. So this is no joke. The thing is, if you look at it psychologically, you will ask yourself, if Joseph Walker is the greatest threat to George Weah, why George Weah government want to be so involved into the framework document fingering issue, the fake allegation of common fingering framework? No, because George Weah know at the end of the day, Cummings poses the biggest threat to him than anybody in Liberia at the moment. And I keep telling people, when you look at the numbers, I hold my model constant. I tell people, I said, when you look at the numbers from 2017, from first round to round number 2, it tells you that Joseph Blackard numbers were inflicted to guarantee that they get in round number 2. I will say that 1,000 times. When you study the number, that's the only conclusion you can make logically, because you ask yourself, if the Unity Party brain was so destroyed and damaged. How possible can Joseph Boakai get into round number 2? Because they knew that the sentiment, the negative sentiment of the Unity Party was on an all-time high.
Yes.
So the easiest candidate to beat was Joseph Boakai.
Yeah.
You get in round number 2. Can you imagine in places like Unity Party, always did better, the Western Cluster, the Cape Man, the Buffalo, the Bowman. If they are going to lose in those areas, right, and lose big in those areas, tell me now, why would you have Unity Party? That's why I keep telling folks. The reason Joseph Boakai did exceedingly well in round number 1 because those numbers were reflected. Bronski and Cummings did better than what the number reflected. Someone went to round number 2. Joseph Boakai fell like some, like in 3-4. Georgia considered that 93% of his support in round number 1. Why Joseph Boakai? You telling me that Madam Sally got 19% in 2005 in round number 1? Joseph Boakai did well than Madam Sally. He did 10% better in round number 1.
Exactly.
So mathematically, it's impossible for him not to get anything close to what he done in round number 1. So it tells me that in round number 1, the number was inflicted intentionally just to guarantee to get Joseph Boakai in round number 2. And that's exactly what happened. That's what Georgia is doing again for the second time.
Yeah, but this time around, and then what he's doing, you're right. What he's doing, he's trying to make sure he gets Joseph Boakai to come to round 2 so that they can use similar tactics because they have something against him. Anybody that they don't have something against, look, nobody's stupid here, and that's why when you look at the numbers, even Cummings coming later on, if you listen to Charlie Bronski when she came here, one of the serious.
After you make your point, I want to when we can let Sarah go. We can take a lot of calls coming in.
Yes.
All right.
Hold on, Sarah.
I can get off the line, guys.
Sarah, hold on before you go. One of the serious fight Councillor Bronski had was to take this thing to the court. You know what Nathaniel McGill did for one of the very first time? Nathaniel McGill had an interview and threatened them. One of the first time Nathaniel McGill used the word shenanigans before they could go to the elections. Even the date that they selected to go for the election, right after the Christmas, it all fell within the plan or whatever it is. So you're 100% right. Thank you so much, Cyrus. We'll take other callers. Thank you.
So callers, when I take your call and you're on hold, just remain on hold. We will get to you, but do not hang out. We got a lot. I have 4 calls on here right now. So let's take this first one right here. 612 number, last 4 DJ 9634. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, this is the Auto Competition calling from Minnesota. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you doing, Ben?
Good. So so this is what I want to say. I would disagree with you guys on some issues. First of all, I'm going to ask some rhetorical questions, and the first one is: do we know of any name of a Liberian that was more visible with the Liberian people during the Civil War? If we know one, probably some of us will like to know. And the second question is, can this election be won on discussing the humanitarian gestures of the candidates or on we have failed politics? And here's the reason why I'm a little bit skeptical with the way how things are going. Because I think CDC wants to draw this election where we can keep talking about what we have done or what we didn't do. And I don't know how does that help the Liberian people, because these things that he might have done or did not do, it's already in the past. Why can't we accept and say, look, we are this X, Y, and Z, and maybe we have failed policies. There's too many failed policies that we are in this country, and we're going to be arguing whether he gave money here or he didn't give money here. I think those things don't make a lot of sense. And some of us, when we were in refugee camps, people call us humanitarian, and because of the small help that we're able to give to other people, to some soccer players who were able to help buy the ticket and the travel. We have to understand that in the Liberian setting, sometimes the way how we see things is different. Some people did not have it, and some people even gave them $2. But at the time of that $2, it meant a whole lot to that person. So afterwards, we can come and say, you know what, that was just what he gave me. And it seems to me that is what Liberians are trying to do to George Weah now? Because there were things that he did. Is it just the way how it was said? Is that how true it was? Let's forget about that. He didn't do all of these things.
No, Ben. You will not come and tell.
Let him finish.
We should forget about it when people are sending misinformation and disinformation. This is where the problem lies. Okay. Nobody's not saying that people cannot appreciate people for being humanitarian. But you have to be clear on it. You can't come and tell me, say, George Weah went to Ivory Coast and get a refugee in there, food, or he supplied a refugee in there. When the truth of the matter is, I was honored in Ivory Coast. All the Liberians that were there, they were getting UNSC Arrow temporary card. They used to get a ration, burger, wheat, and oil. I benefited from it. How can you replace that and say that George Weah did it? Then you say we should forget it? Forget it for what?
No, I don't think that's the argument, because some of us were into each other. Like I said, some of us benefited from something because of my closeness to Suffolk at the time. However, let's
tell us how you benefited.
All right, no, it's okay. We can reduce it to back and forth. Right. So yeah, so Ben, go ahead and land, please, so I can take the next call.
Let me land this. That thing. So now, here is the other thing that I'm also looking at with regards to the accusation. And like Mr. Cummings made some really good accusation. Let's say George Weah came out too and said the same thing. How does that help? It still leaves the Liberian people outside of people. You know, one thing that we cannot argue that the people in Liberia are suffering. We cannot deny that fact. Those facts are there, and they will still remain there. But accusations will not help our people at all.
Thank you.
So if I were anybody who will go after this guy on the show politics, they're going after his humanitarian gestures. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much. So call out 256 number. Last 4 digit is 4604. What is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Samuel Beze and I'm calling from Minnesota.
Samuel, go ahead quickly.
Yeah, Steve and Sikut, I firstly want to get rid of the word desperate.
Huh?
You know, I firstly want to express my opinion on the word desperate.
Desperation, yeah. You need to speak a little louder so we can hear you clearly.
Yeah, you see, people have traditionalized the word or customized the word to fit their own context. If you look at desperate, the synonyms for desperate is determination. So tell me, who is not determined to meet or to achieve their objective? That's first thing. So those are simple things that we should not dwell into. Let's discuss the real issue that is affecting the Liberian people through this bad governance or the corrupt regime. I say corrupt regime because it has been confirmed by the American government, and there are evidences that are there. Now, if you look at the issue of George Weah being accused or alleged by Cummings, it's not something that started even 2 or 3 years ago. There was a talk show, I think, with Orchard and that is Simply. When he appeared on was Sky FM 107. Yeah, and he said there is no turning point that George Weah will stand before my face and say that he never participated in the process. Now, on book or witness, they are on book as witness. So it's something that can be proven if the international community wants to investigate. People think that Cummings' engagement issue is just about national politics. They have gone beyond that. It's a possible statement for indictment to the president. That's what. Yeah, it's a possible statement for indictment to the president. Cummings is not the first person. In fact, those that participated in the war, I'm calling Yaka Kolba in the context that he served in the same capacity and accusing George Weah. So in terms, they are comparable to some extent.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's go to the caller here. Caller 701, last 4 digit 4658. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, what is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Teddy Ted Lion Yankon. I'm calling from
Go ahead, Teddy.
Yeah, thank you for taking the call, Sekou. Well, you know, I want to express my dissatisfaction the way in which your co-host presents the case, and that's wrong. I want to believe that derives from hate, from his body language, the way he expresses his desire against the presidency, against the president. I believe that he so much hate this president, and that is the sin, as we call it, desperation. Because people are so desperate to the extent that they want to steal lives, innuendos against this regime, against this president. President Weah has been classified as a humanitarian, and he also been classified as somebody who works as a peace ambassador. He working as peace ambassador doesn't mean that UNICEF give him humanitarian assistance to all the Liberian people. He was carrying on to the peace protocol of the country. There are other parts he played as a humanitarian in his own way. A physical care, personal cash towards Liberian people, which many Liberians always come out and say, oh yeah, Joshua did this, Joshua did this, so X, Y, and Z for me. But there's no Liberian came out that during that days that coming did this, coming did that for them. But it's proven all the time that Joshua have done certain things for Liberians, and those money have been his personal money on Liberians. But also he served as peace ambassador to tighten the bond between the Liberian people and the early government. In order for things to not disrupt. That's all we are personally help and disarm Liberians. So
you said Josh, we are help to disarm Liberians?
Influence
How?
the people to disarm in the disarmament process.
Okay.
Yes, play a major factor, a major role.
Can you tell me how, so that our audience and listener can understand what you mean?
Rebels, child soldiers, willing to go and give the arms because the influence of George Weah.
How? I just want to know the how.
How he did that? He talked to them. He talked in his presence.
Okay.
He talked to them and they did that. Okay. Some of them made that they said those things. So you question me how I know that the presence of George Weah that makes people to be able to go through a disarmament process because he was a man of peace.
Okay.
So the planet knows that President Weah gave it according to our general Akaris Gray. The planet knows due to President Weah's response that Cummings is still trying to recover.
Okay, I got you.
To recover with false foods and people your co-host, of a bullet to be still all this last people not for in that student. I know he's so much against President Weah.
All right, thank you, sir.
You can tell from his body language.
Okay.
Please, man.
No problem. Okay, no problem. Let's take the last question, then you will address it. All right, my brother. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, let's take the last caller here. This person is the last caller. I think this is Mr. Mawul. I'm not sure. Caller 443 number, last 4 digit 3356. What is your name?
Yeah, my brother Sekou, how are you?
Oh, it's not Mawul. I thought it's Mawul because he won't call from 443 number. Yeah, sure. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Prince Sharif.
Prince Sharif.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
Let me first of all say to you and my brother Ole Indi, I've always opened up the platform that you guys can have the time, because despite of our political differences, I think we are changing the politics of Liberia, and we want to say thanks to the CDC-led government. We are changing the political atmosphere.
Thanks for the CDC government for allowing SKTV to air, right?
Creating that atmosphere. Thank you very much. Creating that atmosphere that today, my brother Sekou, can have at least his voice. Yeah. And my brother Bole can also have his voice. So we want to say thanks to the government of President George.
I think Mark Zuckerberg is working for CDC now.
And also that we can disagree, but yet still we have a cordial, relationship. I remember I saw my brother, at the the ceremony, the burial ceremony of our late brother Winston, and we had a very nice time. My brother is a nice brother, Moses, and people should not look at these political, a statement to think that we are all equal. No, we are all nice people.
All right, go to the point. Get to the point, sir.
Yeah, to the point. Let me say this, my brother. President William's desperation led him to making students of Liberia, since the history of Liberia have never had the opportunity to have a tuition-free education, led him to giving them a tuition-free university. And the desperation of Mr. Alexander Cummings led him to taking the children from in the school, putting them on the street for them to burn the people buildings, for them to destroy properties. That is one. The desperation of President Weah led him to fix the rule first time in the history of Liberia. The desperation of Mr. Alexander Cummings led him to pay these young people to come on the street and burn tire on the road. That is two. The desperation of President George Manuel Weah led him to pass a bill where journalists or people who have, their own interest in Liberian politics, that they will speak void of any intimidation from anybody. That any Tom, Dick, and Harry can go out there and speak their mind. If they want to insult, nobody will hammer them. Now, the desperation of Mr. Alexander Cummings led him to pay people like my brother Moses, who would come and spill out things without any facts. Now, the desperation of President George Manuel Weah led him to leave his luxury, you understand, in Monte Carlo, in New York, to go down to the butchers of Liberia, to encourage young people to disarm to the United States.
I'm on the show.
Hey, President Weah was the first president, was the first star, was the first icon to go down there in a place called the Godrich Plantation, where you have thousands of young people. We have thousands of young people.
You have 30 seconds, Prince. I want you to conclude, please. We got to go now.
He went in Godrich and encouraged the people to the extent that he was given advice by the United Nations mission that Godrich at the time was not a conducive place. There were a lot of talks there, and that place was not conducive. But he said no. He went there without a bulletproof. So his desperation led him to encourage the young people to disarm. But guess what? The desperation of Mr. Alexander Cummings led him to have a collaboration with Charles Daniel Taylor, which today we have the records, and at the appropriate time we display it before.
But you have Charles Taylor wife serving as your vice president. Why would you want to make a case of?
My brother, we are saying that Mr. Alexander Cummings, you understand, has the direct.
Anyway, Prince, no, we gotta go now. I've given you enough time. It's okay now. Let's leave it there. No. We don't have that. Thank you, Prince. All right. We gotta leave it there. So, Steve.
So
I think we gotta go now.
So to my friend who said,
I want you to respond to all those people, and then we can get out of here.
So to my friend who said I hate President George Weah, well, that is not true. I don't hate President George Weah. I don't. As a matter of fact, I think I love President George Weah. I like him more than all of you super fans who keep lying to him. All of you small soya, the Prince Sherry who comes and talks in cycle. That's why I call you small soya. Because you don't say the truth. You lie. How can you say President George Weah left his luxury or whatever it is? That is not true. President George Weah never left any kind of luxury in Europe to come to Liberia because he wanted to help Liberians. That's not true. That is not true. The peace ambassador you're talking about, Ellen used to pay him. He was on payroll. Charles Sirleaf said it. Ellen's son said it. And I lie. To tap all this, Mr. Kane, the peacemaker that they're talking about, George Weah, it was the same peacemaker, President George Weah, who governed as Jefferson Koji, who governed as Moluba Molu, they see Akara's Gray, and all the other young people in the street. They were toting caskets, taking women honor clothes and putting blood on it. Only because they wanted to come to power, because they didn't know what they were doing. to that President George Weah is a peacemaker? President George Weah a peacemaker? You want me to give President George Weah history about being peacemaker? When he used to collect money from Ellen at the same time, when they made him protesting, he said President George Weah a peacemaker. You want to talk about peace, Prince Sherry? I don't talk to small soils. I talk to your boss, which is your commander-in-chief, Common Buga Denso, rebel leader, George Weah. All of you guys are small soil, you wear beret 24/7, and every day you're talking about you're fighting and you're fighting and you're fighting. You'll go find someone you're carrying out of conversation. You mean you're not Prince Sharif, if you invite me to your show, I will come there and I will say the same thing I'm saying here because it is the fact. President George Weah is a common Buga Denso and a rebel leader, allegedly a rebel leader.
You think we should take a few more calls? People keep calling. You want me to take a few more calls?
Sure.
Okay. I think we got to go now. Caller, what is your name and where are you calling from? People calling like crazy.
How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. What is your name and where are you calling from? We're about to go now.
The name is Micah and calling from Fulbright, North Carolina, man.
Go ahead.
I was listening to the show and I listened to you and Steve and look, Comey, I've gotten what you really, really deserve, and I will say this to you. CDC government got no other means now but to continue to answer. And what they need to do now is CDC, we're not supposed to be giving free advice, but you know what? It's for the good of the country. All they need to do is coming out and quantifying and giving destination and specific support on what George Weah was involved in or alleged that he was involved in during the Civil War. All they need to do now, continue bit by bit and pieces deep a little bit and send it to all our international partners. So everywhere you go now, you will have to answer, even if it's not going to like grand people, you will have to answer to his peers. And you know, we got the African Summit coming up. So hey, this is a very good time to put a little bit more outside and push it some more so that he can answer to his peers and explain. Thank you so much for the show, and hey, we're glad you guys can have an open conversation like this.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. All right, let's get to this caller here. I'm not sure if it's Prince Sherry again or somebody else. 443 number, last 4 DJ is what is it? 3356. What is your name and where are you calling from?
You cut me off and you said the show was finished.
No. I did not cut you off. I told you were finished, and then I told you conclude, but you didn't want to conclude. But go ahead and conclude, my brother.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. You see, I get you now. You need to apologize.
Okay. I apologize. Conclude, Mr. CDC.
Here's the issue, my brother. You know, desperation led.
Yeah. Okay. So before you conclude, let me say this. Let me ask you this question. Yeah, you will conclude. Yeah. Steve, no, just a second. I just want to ask you this question. Then you can conclude. So you agree now that both President Weah and Mr. Cummings are all desperate, but desperate in different way, right? Yeah, that's what he said. He said President was desperate enough.
The desperation of Madam Ellen Johnson led to supporting war in Liberia, which is very open to kill innocent people, about 250,000 plus of our people. The desperation of Mr. Eligana Cummings led him to collect money here, $180,000 United States dollars, to pay lobbyists to carry sanctions on the Liberian people that he claimed are suffering, and he wants to help them. I don't know how does that explain to the common and the ordinary man there in Bokwajiri that Eligana Cummings wants to give them a better life. But again, as I said, Eligana Cummings is not a factor. We are just the meaning of piece of relevance.
All right, thank you. You said the same. I heard you said the same thing about DeLong, and then DeLong came and flogged you guys 2 times. Yeah, you said you Prince Sherry said the same thing on this platform that DeLong was not a factor. That you guys just gave me a little bit of attention, but then DeLong came by and flogged you guys twice. Twice.
But this is to tell you that our democracy under President George Weah is becoming mature by the minute every time. So the fact that that was an academic investigating, pathological liar, criminal by nature, we be able to have.
No. Don't spew that kind of garbage here. The man is not a criminal by nature. The law is not a criminal by nature. That's not true. Go ahead, but the law is not a criminal by nature. Go ahead.
I'm waiting for you to invite me on the show. I'm waiting for you to invite me. Because you said you were going to invite me. I'm waiting for you to invite me. You the same Prince Sheriff. You lie on me, say I get somebody money in Lofa. You want your page, you lie. So you are small soil liar. Small soil plus liar. Nobody take you seriously. You small soil plus you're liar again.
Okay, Steve. Let me conclude. Okay, go ahead, Prince.
I'm on the show. I'm waiting for you, Papa. Prince Sheriff, I challenge you to call the uncle Nina I get in Lofa County that same money to. I challenge you and the entire CDC. I challenge you and CDC. Hey, I openly challenge you. I say I challenge you. And I will come on the show. Let me come on the show so we can talk about your lives.
Please hold up. Please hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. There's somebody calling from Netherlands. Let me put up on hold. Just 1 second. Call up. Please hold the line. Let's Prince Sheriff finish and I will get back to you in a minute. Yeah, so Prince, you got to conclude now.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So to conclude, my brother, you see, we must all thank this government for the opportunity provided. I remember some years ago when the office of the presidency, when you occupy such a high seat and you have a disagreement with any political leader, you run after them. That used to happen under the regime of that my brother only uncle said his uncle asked him. I'm not lying. One of his uncles said in the Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government. When Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government had some issues with a political leader like Simon Fremont, guess what? She changed Simon Fremont out of Liberia. Mandela factor that you know, when the government of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf had issue with Mandela Factor when he was expressing himself, they changed Mandela Factor out of Liberia. In fact, the stories are there up to date.
Thank you.
So claim that Liberia is unsafe and all kinds of things are happening, but today he can express himself. Even go to the extent of
the idea about you, I can cut you off. When people give you time to close, you don't want to close. You want to keep going on.
I'm closing. And he can be given the opportunity to be able to, go after Liberia and have a free ride. And it's not only for the first person benefited from the magnanimity of this particular government during the heat of the coronavirus. He was the first person.
When you get small so that then change how they don't follow no rules, no order, nothing.
To be treated out of corona, even though he claimed that the system is damaged, the health system, what have you, but he benefited. He was the first political leader that benefited from the health system of Liberia.
Thank you.
He is alive because of the magnanimity of President George Manuel Weah. Again, I want to say President Weah has given us this opportunity to make me to come on this show and make you, my brother Sekou, who is a professional driver, to be, a journalist, to be able to express yourself and disagree. Like my brother, who grew up on a refugee camp and know nothing about Liberia, to be able to express himself.
Thank you. You see now? So you want me to cut you off? I'll give you just now. It's okay now. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. No, no. It's good. It's good now. You have concluded. That's okay now. You when you give your Sonny, then you don't want to take Sonny. So caller, I think this is the overseas caller. 44 number. I think it's the I don't know the United Kingdom number. What is your name and where you calling from?
Mr. Connie Afternoon.
Caller, what is your name and where you calling from? 44 number and then the last end is 2700. On the WhatsApp line. Okay, the person dropped the line. Yeah, so somebody was on hold forever. I really wanted to take this. So Steve, as it stands right now, even though we say we're leaving, on the SKTV Live, we still have 465 people. And then on real SKTV, the original SKTV, we have 353 people. So people are still here, even though we said we're leaving a long time ago, but people will stay here to listen to. Okay, this person that we're calling from, I think from Netherlands is calling back. Oh, hold on 1 second. Let's get this person from the Netherlands. Caller, what is your name and where are you calling from? 316 number. I think it's from Netherlands. I'm not sure. Hello?
You mean?
Yeah, what is your name?
Yeah, Brother Sekou,
thank you so much for bringing me on the platform. My name is Bataki Ezeneta.
Your name is?
Bataki Ezeneta.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yes. You know, I just want to actually respond to Steve. You understand? I know that with the level of understanding, with the level of comprehension, and with the level of conditions that we have conditioned ourselves in believing that the thing that we are saying to our people is true, based on the fact that were given to us by people who assign a lenses in our eyes and our thoughts into believing in what our people are doing are wrong. All right? First of all, I'm not a politician. I'm not a sedition. I hate politics and I hate religion any in my life. But the point is what I'm saying here, brothers. Where were all these politicians when my childhood was then violent in the Liberian Civil War? I was 2 years old when the Liberian Civil War took place in Liberia. Where were you guys? I believe that you guys was in America because it's your greatest allies. When the American people watch us 300 miles away with their gunship, they watch us, we kill ourselves. When they watch us to the embassy, we murder ourselves. All right? Where were you? What was all the politician that you guys are? Look, give me one politician now, right now, you think that is the rightful ideas for us, the way forward. All right? Where were all of you guys that today, me, with all the other Liberian people that don't have a picture of their childhood, all right, how they grew up, how they managed to come
So
out of the stage.
what is the point, if you don't mind?
The point is, I am talking to Steve that whenever we come to the conclusion that we are believing in politicians, that we think that they are the best way of life, I think that we should be able to think twice. Now, I'm not supporting of George Weah, but I feel that he was also there for other Liberians who supported them, who supported him or supported them in the Liberian Civil War, in the refugee camp. At that time, I was still a kid. I don't remember all these things. But the point is that, brother, if you hate this man too much, to the conclusion that you think that he's a Buka dancer, he's a small soldier. When you use the word small soldier, brother, it reminds me about something. You see, that politician thing business, you people can take it to the level that it can bring people to the emotional in greed, envy, and bigotry. When you use that word soldier, small soldier, it reminds me about all of the things that I faced in Liberian Civil War, how they treated me, how they treated people. Brother, you guys watch your language. I dare you. I'm not a politician. I'm not a religious leader, but it may be wise to condition your words, how you use your words on your platform.
All right, thank you, sir.
Liberians are watching you, but use your words correctly.
So, and then, and where were you calling from again?
Well, I'm calling from the Netherlands, you know, from my peaceful environment, right, in the village of Hoevelaken, not in the big city, Amsterdam, you know, all the places. Everybody knows me here.
So before you go,
I just want to thank you for calling from all the way Netherlands to participate.
Thank you so much, bro. Thank you for bringing me. I was so surprised when you bring me on because you never bring me on before.
But no, every time you call in, we will bring you on. Anytime you call in, trust me.
No, you have never. You never.
Okay, I apologize for that, but keep calling. Yeah, keep calling. Give your opinion. Thank you very much. Steve?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you, Mr. Connor, for being patient. I really wanted to answer.
I know, but it's okay.
That caller is part of the small soil. He's a small soil as well. I don't want to say it. Because all of them count on these guys, when you try to point the facts out, the same thing with Joseph Boakai.
You don't let politics, you don't let religion, then you call them small soil.
The men are small soil as well. Because you know what? Anytime you point the truth out, instead of them saying what is right for us to move this country forward, they will look for a way to want to make it look fun and to come and attack you or to do the one and do that one. Let me say this to all your small soil sedition. Let me say it to you. And I'm afraid none of you, we can have the debate anywhere, anytime your environment or come on your platform. The fact of the matter is alleged that President George Weah supported rebel until he can clear his name out of this allegation. As of now, because that not one person has said, that not one time has been said, this is a grave allegation. So I'm saying to that caller, he is part of the small soldier group here and Prince Sheriff them. That's why they pass around defending wrong 24/7. Joe, we are the one saying it. If Joe, we are they good for you, fine, congratulations. But you guys are small soldier. And I know you one for the record. I know you one lost.
So why are you referring to them as small soldier? Why are you referring to them as small soldier?
Because the person who they support is an alleged. You hear the other American and say General Akaras Gray.
He said they are General Akala Gray.
Yeah, General Akaras Gray. So all of them they're small soldier.
I don't think that really Army general you're talking about. I think you're talking about political general.
Well, general. So I mean,
I think you're talking about political post soldiers.
Well, that's what I'm saying now. Maybe they're political small soldier too. But me honest, I just leaving it like that. They can define it. I don't want to define it. I'm saying that all those editions who wearing beret passing around, whether you man or you woman, you are a small soldier. And if you passing around making a case for George Weah, knowing what George Weah is doing in that country is wrong, defending wrong, you are even a bigger small soldier. I don't want to say it. So you're a small soldier, then you get work to do. If you're saying,
you think Spring Sherry and other Shedishan will be brave enough to invite you to their platform to go and destroy them?
That's the business. Prince Sharif been inviting me here more. He saw Prince Sharif is I don't even know how to define it. Now, you're not a small soldier, but you're a small soldier, you took it to the next level, you become a person worshiper and slave to McGill.
Are you talking about mental slavery or real slavery?
Oh, both. Mentally and physically. Can you see the man? A grown man who get cheering, go and dress himself like a fool to pass around and put wet job on his face, job around.
Don't call the man a fool.
Oh, but that's how the man dress. How the man dress.
I stopped the man from using certain words, but I don't want it's fair to the man to call him a fool. You can call the man small fool if you want.
Mr. Cannon, fool is not an insult. It just means that you're not acting
like a fool.
Yes, the man dressed like a fool. The man you see the man should call President George Weah, Saint George Weah, he changed it now. Because he seen how the Saint making that shame. He's okay,
I will still continue to take calls until the mistake go now.
Mr. Cannon, let go. This one
okay, let me take this call.
Ready for them.
Hold on, let's take this caller. Caller, what is your name and where you calling from?
Thank you, Brother Sekou, for taking my copy. Probably I'll be the last one.
What is your name?
My name is Sandra Johnson from the state of Pennsylvania.
Hi, your name is Sandra Johnson? Are you sounding like our former senator from Birmingham County?
I know.
Sandra Johnson?
When I go back to Liberia, I call my name. They say, "Oh, you saw it. I met Sandra
If
Johnson."
you go back to Liberia, they will call you NPP General.
They want me to put a middle edition, whatever you. So I put S in the middle now.
Go ahead. I just somebody keep calling you on WhatsApp line from England, but when I take the person call, they can't talk. But you go ahead, and then maybe I'll take the person after you. That will be the last call.
No, my question to brother Steve, to your studio.
Yeah.
Okay. Like the young man I just called, and he calling him small soldier. Okay. And this is my belief personally, my brother. Religion, Christians relations, Muslim relations is a cancer that will destroy Africa.
Hold on, just a second. Let me put this England caller on hold. That ain't England caller, that Labrador caller, I forget. See, people mad at you. People calling from all the way Labrador and they want to talk to you. Caller, hold the line, please.
It's a good thing. That children are going. You know, go second get there.
Okay. Caller from Labrador, hold the line. Oh, it can't let me to switch. Yeah, my brother, I'm sorry. Yeah, Sandra Johnson, you may continue.
Okay, Brother Sekou, thank you. You know, when you look at first, because all the politicians coming from the background of religions, like I said this many times, when I go to Liberia on the radio in Bakwashi, when you go to Guinea, from independent day to present, the president from Sekou Touré to present, they're coming from the Muslim background. Liberia, Christian background, and I call them cancer group. Okay, and they are coming from the religion of Christianity, Muslimity, and they become president. The divisions in the church, the divisions in the mosque, they bring it in the politics. So who is the hope that Brother Steve over there hoping that would really fix the cancer that in Liberia? That he calling other people small soldiers, small soldiers, small soldiers. Who is hoping on?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Yeah, no problem. Let me get your question. Thank you. So,
Thank you,
caller
Mr.
from Liberia. What is your name? Where you calling from? You got a Liberia number. I'm not sure if you're in Liberia. 9898.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, what is your name and where you calling from?
Okay, thank you very much, my dear big brother Sekou. I'm Siliki Kroma. I'm calling from Mosurado District number 2.
Siliki Kroma from Mosurado District number 2. What say you, my brother?
Okay, so thank you very much. Actually, I know exactly. I mean, I've followed the show from the starting of the conversation, but I just wanted to make two brief statements, on the current issue happening in our country. So the first one has to do with the response Mr. Cummings replied to Joshua letter that he sent to Mr. Cummings. And I just want to encourage all Liberians to go and read that letter. Once you read the letter, I think you're going to know the kind of personality that Mr. Cummings is in. By doing that, you will do justice for yourself. Secondly, before I can take lead of your line, I want to say this, Mr. Sekou, when you're listening to us. Yombli Kanga Lawrence and the Unity Party, they went to Grand Bassa to do a fundraising in the name of Liberty Party, which the Liberty Party and the ANC have formed a collaboration. Yombli is an expelled political leader of the Liberty Party. She does not have the power to use the party name and do fundraising. So now, the Liberty Party have complained Yombli Kanga Lawrence to the Grieving Active Committee. So they will be inviting her for cautionary. If she refuses to go, the party will make a decision to expel her from Liberty Party. And if Joe Boaka and the Unity Party continue to do business with Yombli in the name of Unity Party, we'll take them to court.
In the name of Liberty Party, you mean?
Yeah, of course, because they are doing business in Liberty Party, not hold Yombli as individual, but they are saying that Liberty Party and Unity Party, will go into the election. That is crazy. She was expelled from her position as political leader because she refused to pay her party due. And these are things that is clear. Liberty Party Constitution said when you refuse to pay your due as an executive official, they will suspend you and give you 90 days to pay your payment. Within that 90 days, if you don't do your payment, they're going to expel you from your position. They are still member of the Liberty Party, but they are just normal member. Any member cannot go and do fundraising in the party. They have to be executive member. So for Yombli Kanga Lawrence to go in Grand Bassa today, do a fundraising there, then you see the Unity Party people embracing that. They're not referring to Joe Parker as a desperate man. But if Cummings, Mr. Cummings go and do political rally with Mr. Pelede, who is the legitimate and recognized political leader and anti-chairman of the Liberty Party, then they want to come and call him all kinds of names. But this is the country we find ourselves in. At the end of the day, we'll sue Liberty Party.
You are really
so thank you
disturbing.
very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I think we got to leave it there for today, Steve. So Steve, by the way, remember, since we said today we're leaving, right? We still have about 458 people watching on SKTV Live, the new one. And then we have about 300 and let me see here. 339 people on the original SKTV. We want to say thank you to all of you. To all of them combined, we can see them here on the main screen. I have 805 people. Let me see. This caller, still calling Steve from the Facebook, from the WhatsApp line. Caller, what is your name? Where are you calling from? It has a 4 number. I think it looks like England.
No.
Yes. Oh my God. We're not hearing you. We are not hearing you. You need to hang on and come back. You're the last caller. We gotta go now. Well, we apologize. This caller with 44 number calling from England or wherever you are, we apologize. So Steve, we gotta call you a day. So yeah, so the only thing is interesting that people watching on YouTube. I don't know how many people, because I'm not looking at the YouTube, but I'm looking at SKTV 337, SKTV Live 457.
Well,
We've been here now for almost 3 hours now, like 2 hours 45 minutes. I think we gotta go now.
yeah, I think the most important thing.
So I want to tell everybody, Steve, who are watching, let us please go ahead and click like and follow SKTV Live, please. Because eventually it's where we're gonna go, but we're gonna keep going simultaneously on both accounts. What is your name? Where you calling from? Again, call out 44. I think it's the UK number. Hello? I don't know. This person, you calling from the UK, then your line can come up? Yeah, man. We got to leave it there. So, Steve, anything before we go? Steve?
Yes, I'm here, Mr. Kane. Well, thank you, Mr. Kane. Tomorrow we'll be back on by the grace of God. Like I said, we have other pending national issues that we didn't talk about today. For example, Nathaniel McGill's. Nathaniel McGill, we'll dive into it tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we should also talk about the fundraiser today by Senator Yumli Kanga Lawrence and what happened.
Mr. Kane, we're still doing research. We're still doing research concerning that. Yeah, so maybe we'll bring that on Monday.
But in this problem, man, I also want to say whoever those that were involved in an accident, I pray for them. They are Liberians. I don't know them. I don't know who they are. I don't know what they were doing. But I believe they were traveling, going to Grand Bassa County, according to Senator Kanga's post. We pray for them. We wish them well. And hopefully nothing happened to any of them. You know, no matter, which part of the political spectrum you find yourself, it's important that we be our brothers and sisters keeper, regardless. I want to say, we recognize the pain. We pray for you to be well, and we are hoping that nothing happened to anybody. So, Steve, unless you have something else to say in terms of
tomorrow morning tomorrow we'll play McGill's tip with Al Jazeera, and we'll analyze it and go through it. But thank you, Mr. Kane. Have a good day, guys. Mr. Kane, I'll see you in a little bit here. Thank you.
Yeah, I was seeing a little bit. Yeah, I was seeing a little bit. I usually want to come around your anyway. Sorry. Somebody want to get a car, so we'll talk. Let's talk. All right, folks. Want to say thank you, all of you. Want to say thank you very, very much.
Small soil in your battle.
You can pick for some people here. You got to stop it. People stop chasing you or not say anything. But yes, I want to say thank you to all of you. I'm trying to play Samalolo song. Where is Samalolo song? What is song I'm looking for? Okay.
Pito Kalite!
Samalolo, Bossy. Yeah, Jade Ken, I'm when music Bossy over. Jade. Bossy the name of the music killer. Bossy the name of the music killer. Bossy the name. I am Bossy the name. Jate. Bossy the name of the music killer. Bossy the name of the music killer. Bossy the name. Wali yongo mango bossy the name. Muso nyuma ungo mango bossy the name. Mambi bolongo bossy the name. I am the bolongo bossy the name. Dikitu na de bossy the name. Boss. So then Gabala US Lana gonna move in the bureau la chair. I am gonna when I tell her naked into Setamala, just with the lamp or no go in Gadela. I am so you my we on Gotela, Labia Masacha or Loma and Bibela. Vasi Basini, Zini Mambicona, Uo Dala Calambenji, la Begamako boss. Why you keep on the Ananke, Polo Ibala Heji, go back at Samalolo, not an Anthony Beji, Morovia, Fair can I bet for Possidene. Antonio Soare, Gin against me, Manga, I bought see the way. Cape say, Chico Bros movement, Jati the tell, I bought see the way. That against Samalolo, now manager Mr. York, now bought see the way. Mr. Duke, now bought see the way. As I am, go Messi Lide, Atisiala Chomongo Bossy Lide, Woody Plem Longo Bossy Lide, Mimisto, that Gina Lide, journalist, we are Stalia Bossy Lide, Madam President, Tumba Fofana, Koyanga Masango Bossy Lide, Sebu Kutubu, Mande Festival Chairman, at Chomongo Bossy Lide, Sebu Kene, SKTV, Chomongo Bossy Lide, Koyanga Bele Uso, Kama, Dingo, Go Bossy Lide.
bola bositile. Yama bi sanze do bana si ala bositile. Ya telefone wali wo ban bositile. Fane dag bene di bolo bositile. Nena fola ngo bosile ne. Na iju kumbala mwane na wali labe. Wadi kona VIP. Nene muzo nyuma siya masini cheli na e. Kwande ate bola masini. Wai bola njifala kwa miyo masini. Kisa manga oba kushini. Bobelo nena go masini. Wali bolo ate bana.